Recording. Right, starting now, Lee.
You have to hide the headphones. Or picking up bits in the background. Where is that picking me up from?
Yeah, nearly there, mate. It's about 15 seconds or so.
Yeah, it's the best we can do anyway. Just have it there. Don't worry, I'll count you in before we go. I just want to choose a topic, which is chat and interview. So we're going to go live on TikTok and then straight on to Twitch, okay?
Yeah, sounds good, mate. I'm recording it as well, so.
Let's go over here. Well, how are you today, man?
No, not bad, mate. Not bad at all for a Wednesday.
Oh, what a day. How was your day?
Yeah, it goes quick, doesn't it? Goes quick, so.
Absolutely flies along.
Yeah.
Absolutely flies along. So welcome to the very first, I suppose, Horsebox streams. Can't hear Chris, they're saying. Talk, Chris?
Yep. Can you hear me?
I'll probably have to turn you up there now. Don't talk.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
They should be able to hear you there. I can see it. Docs me useless. Go fuck yourself, Liam.
Hey. This is what happens when you leave an Irishman in charge of technical, mate. We're always going to have issues.
Oh, they want me up a bit more. Oh, man. Well, this has been nothing but technical issues, hasn't it now?
Was that it all yesterday? Still not got it right.
Oh, man. Wow, look. We've done better. I'm going to turn my mic down a bit.
Yeah, they're still saying I'm very quiet, mate, so I don't know if you can turn yours up your end somehow.
I have you on max now, so I don't know why.
Hello.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I don't get that. Am I coming through to you all right?
I can hear you crisp. He's perfect now. He was always perfect, to be fair.
It's perfect.
Weren't you?
Always, mate. Born that way.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, so this is kind of the first kind of episode that we're going to be doing, and it's open to everyone, obviously, in our community starting now. Just a chat, I suppose, for everyone to get to know who you are, to know a bit about you, and then just talk in general about what you're into and stuff like that. So, very welcome along, and thanks for being a brave one to start it out.
Well, yeah, no, it's what I'm here for, mate. It's not what I'm here for. Let's be the guinea pig.
That's exactly it, you're right. I suppose I'm going to jump straight into giving you a question to annoy you.
Go on, fire away.
So, what exactly got you into motorsport, and what age was it that kind of got you interested, even before even sim racing?
I always grew up watching Formula One with my dad. That was always what I did every weekend or when it was on. So there's always been a long-standing love of some form of motorsport in some form or another.
Nice.
I think as we grew up, that expanded into different types of racing. So then eventually sort of fell into the GT3s that we do today, and that is sort of what I enjoy more than anything else as we stand.
And who was your team, though, as a kid watching Formula One?
McLaren.
You're a good man. You're a good man, I have to say.
Do you know what I mean? You're off the era where Hackenham, Coulthard, in the likes, they would be where our sort of early memories, I would say.
Nice.
But yeah, obviously the Schumacher era. So yeah, always remember sitting there on the weekend watching it. That's what I grew up with.
Deadly. Yeah, and how are you finding it today? Are you impressed with how the Formula One has kind of developed? Because it kind of went stagnant a little bit in the late 2000s, but I think it's after getting a great revival. How do you feel about all that?
I think you got to take Formula One for what it is. It's the pinnacle of motorsport, and I don't quite like the way they're doing the Drive to Survive sort of series where they dramatise it. There's a lot of fans coming into it, which is what they want, but I don't know if they're the right kind of fans we want. You find this can be more trouble or more issues, and maybe people with a lot of opinions who don't quite have the background and knowledge of what's actually happening. But it's still great to see it growing, and I've always loved the technical side of it.
And so when you're saying you love the technical side, so when you're looking at Formula One, would you watch all the practices? Would you be looking at the development of the cars and the development of their setups stuff over the weekend?
Yeah, definitely. But even things like YouTube videos on the what's changing in the cars, what's going from year to year, what's the differences we're looking out for.
Okay, so you're actually properly a nerd, like.
Oh yeah, I was watching a video earlier where
Well, well.
they're talking about the slight changes between 22 and 23. So just yeah, what are the changes? They're only slight, but what is the changes? That's all that technical part of the race, which I do
Mm.
enjoy.
And what is the changes? Tell all the viewers.
Oh no, you leave it to people who know more than me. Leave it to people. There's far more geeks out there in the Formula One than me. Leave them
It
to
was
them.
worth a shot. It was worth a shot. And I suppose keeping on the Formula One topic for a minute, I'm going to ask you, what's your expectations for next year? Who do you think will be the top three?
Oh, same as always, isn't it? Really. I think it'd be Red Bull next year again. I do think you're going to see Mercedes back in the fight next year. There was a lot of mistakes they made this year, I think,
Yeah.
that they've learnt from. I think the budget cap has stopped them rectifying them this season.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a different outcome if the budget cap wasn't in place.
And would you reckon then so if you're reckoning kind of, you're still thinking like Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes driver
100%.
wise, who do you think is going to be the top four? Just to kind of give a bit of variance. Genuinely, like if you're looking at
Well,
the development of the cars as drivers as well.
well, if you think the cars are going to be good enough, then in them three cars, I think both Mercedes drivers. I think Russell's that good. Then obviously you got Leclerc, Hamilton, and Max Verstappen as well would be my top four drivers next year.
Okay. Yeah, you're going a safe bet, I have to say, but look, I think it's the right bet as well. Well, especially with the way that Mercedes has ended the year. I know it was struggling in Yas Marina, but like to get the 1-2 out of a year when they shouldn't have won a race, being realistic.
Yeah, it's a fast improvement on what they had, but
Yeah.
I think the concept of the car is wrong, and I think they know that. I think we're going to see a drastically different car come next season.
Yeah, they'll actually have side pods again.
Yeah, I think it'll look more like the Ferrari and the Red Bull next season. But let's watch out for the likes of McLaren as well. You never know what they got sort of heading away. I'd love to see them battling again.
Fingers crossed.
I think Lando Norris is proven just how good he is. I mean, he's had Daniel Ricciardo for the last 2 years, and he's really shown how good he is against a driver everyone really rates.
Yeah. And speaking of Daniel, what do you think of the move back to Red Bull? Was it kind of the obvious move?
Surprised.
Yeah.
Surprised. I don't think they left there. When he left because he didn't want to be a second driver, and he's going back as the third driver.
It's so weird.
You're going back licking your wounds a little bit. I thought he might have tried something different. I thought he actually might have gone to Mercedes.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the chance to get within that and see how they work and learn from what they do, I thought he might have taken up. And the chance even just to pull data of the likes of Lewis Hamilton, I think you should have jumped to that all day long.
Yeah, I think so. Like, to be honest with you, I was actually rooting for him to go to Haas. Because they're definitely, that car is improving year on year now. Because you have to think about it, they didn't put anything into it in 2021. So 2022 was a vast improvement. I think there's more to come with it. Because they have especially a bit more wind tunnel time as well. And
yeah, but they're never going to be more than a mid-pack team, are they, really? And I think that's the thing for them. I mean, you look how much Vettel's been frustrated at Aston Martin. Look at Alonso in the Renault. Can you imagine Ricciardo then going even further back down into the Haas? Because that's realistically what's going to happen.
But I think there'll be less pressure on him. I think he performed better because the McLaren is still a competitive car. Because it hasn't really been competitive, but like, you know what I mean. It's been a competitive mid-pack car that there has still been expectation. But it's also, I feel the Sky and all that does put way too much emphasis on him. Like Vettel's after struggling really bad, but like I think the car just doesn't suit him. It's definitely not the drivers.
No, I do think Vettel's lost some of it. I think,
really?
Yeah, it sounds daft. I think the nicer he's got, the slower he's got. I think he's lost that real edge and bite, what made him quick.
I would agree with that. For the time that he was in Red Bull, he was just an absolute, just a demon. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like there was no. It's the way Max is now.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually see a lot of Max in, or sorry, a lot of Sebastian in Max, with how he's approached the team and approached his teammates. Basically,
you're not meant to like fast drivers. They have a personality trait which makes them really selfish.
Yeah.
They have this greed to win.
Yeah.
And I think Vettel's lost that as time's gone on.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good point as well, because a lot of people look back at the Schumacher area and other areas as well, with like obviously drivers we now find popular. At the time, nobody liked Schumacher.
Oh
Everyone
no,
hated the politics,
yeah,
the way they were making Barrichello literally sit behind him and that. Everyone forgets that and thinks of the glory days. So that's why I laugh now when they're giving out about Max. And, at the end of the day, he's just the champion. He's just there to win, and that's it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I completely disagree with what happened for his first championship, but you can't deny what he's done this season.
Everyone does.
Yeah, you can't deny what he's done last season. I mean, yes, the car was the quickest car, but
Yeah.
he drove that quickest car unbelievably well.
I'd agree with that. And at the end of the day, both of them deserved to win the championship last year. It was just because it was manipulated in the way it was, it soured it. But like he's rectified it this year
Yeah.
by all means
100%,
dominating,
100%, 100%.
dominating it.
Yeah, you think
You know what I mean?
Perez was in the same car and he only
Yeah.
finished third,
Yeah.
so it says a lot in terms of how well.
Oh, he's just a beast. He's just an absolute beast, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't really like him, but then again, are we meant to like him?
I see. This is the thing, right? A lot of people say they don't like drivers. I like Max because I appreciate what he does. I'm a McLaren fan regardless, but I like nearly all the drivers, unless they're likes of Latifi.
He's a paid driver,
Mazepin.
though, isn't he? They're paid drivers, though, aren't
But
they?
that's exactly what I mean.
Ericsson was
People
another
that
one.
doesn't deserve to be there.
Yeah,
That's the people I
they're
don't
paid
like.
drivers. They shouldn't be on the grid. It's
No.
I completely disagree with that, and you see the difference in quality when they're there as well. It turns into like a gentleman's race, really, because you got the professionals at the front and the paid ones at the back. It shouldn't be on.
Paid drivers is a part of Formula One since the beginning as well.
Yeah, I know. I just don't agree with it. It's meant to be the pinnacle of motorsport, and we've got paid drivers on the grid. How does that work out?
But without paid drivers, you wouldn't have Senna, you wouldn't have Schumacher. You know what I mean? Because an awful lot of them were paid drivers. Now, they might have eventually got there in their natural talent. But, Nicky Lauda, I think I was only saying this the other day, he paid for his very first Formula 1 season.
I don't mind that, but a lot of them are on there way too long.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you want to pay, if you get your sponsors to get on there for the first season, you prove yourself, go for it. But when you're sitting there for 3-4 years and you're thinking,
I know, I absolutely, that point I do agree with, absolutely, 100%.
I mean, because technically Lando Norris is a paid driver.
Yeah, 100% as well, yeah.
But he proved himself in the first season, so he's now earned his seat. So, do you know what I mean? You've got to get on that grid somehow, but it's when these teams are purposely keeping you on because the money you're bringing in is completely wrong.
Isn't that what killed Williams really in the end before they got took over by Dalton? Wasn't that the same kind of thing? They were just taking paid drivers to stay afloat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's Formula One's fault, I think, for putting it in that position.
Well, that's why the caps come in, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to pull you away from Formula 1 because I've got loads of other stuff to kind of go on with, and I'm sure we can easily get back to that as well.
Far away.
So I suppose with myself then as well, what got you into sim racing, and I suppose what age did you really start getting competitive with it? Because I know you say you're enjoying it now, but you are competitive. The minute it comes to a race, man, you're all about trying to get there because I see how much you sweat.
Relatively new, to be fair. I didn't really grow up playing too much in the way of consoles altogether. I was always out playing football. Let's say 5 years ago, I used to watch a lot of, say, like Jimmy Broadbent and the likes, all them on YouTube. And it's all sort of coincidental. I actually bought a new house 3 years ago. And in the process, I managed to get the wife to agree to get some form of rig. That's actually when COVID hit. So getting hold of stuff then become absolute nightmare. But a lot of people got into sim racing because of COVID. I was actually getting into sim racing not because of COVID. I mean, it was the way I was going anyway. And then COVID got in my way in terms of getting hold of gear. So only realistically, what's that? 3 years?
Yeah, it is actually quite crazy.
That's it. That is basically the extent of my sim racing background.
But for me, I think that's crazy because when I look at you driving, you look like someone that's doing it a lot longer than that, because it's not just the knowledge you have. Obviously, you're big into motorsport, so obviously you've soaked in a lot of knowledge through the years of watching motorsport and understanding it that way. But the way you understand, like especially doing the track guides, this is a very big thing. So anyone who doesn't know who does the track guides, that's him right there. His logo is there, and where is he going? I know you're not the fast lad, are you?
So that's a different one you want, mate.
But it's crazy to see over 3 years you've obviously started out, because to learn a wheel alone, I remember when I was racing myself, and I was Formula 1 though compared to that, but to learn driving on a wheel took a bit of time firstly to get the feel of it, and to understand the settings of the wheel, and then trying to understand the settings of the car, to understand what your feel is, and then to develop kind of to the pace that you are now and being able to do these really detailed track guides. just explain me through that whole process from the 3 years, because that to me, it's hard to fathom it over 3 years. Being
Well,
honest, it's
on a
fucking
on a fundamental basis, my strength in life was always sport.
okay.
So if it was sport related, I took to it, no matter what it was. And for me, sim racing was just another sport.
Yeah,
And it's just understanding and looking at yourself and being truthful with yourself. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? Yeah, but I don't. You see a lot of people try and learn everything at once, and I don't like that. I'm one of these people where I will try and learn one particular technique.
okay.
So and I've shown this before. I think, like after races where it was a case of, what's the width of my car? And all I'm going to do right now is learn to drive on the white line. That's all I'm going to do. Or now you might see me is, I might just go and learn one corner, go and improve on one corner. So I think Alton Park, it might have been the first corner I knew I wasn't getting quite right, or the first and the second, to be fair at this point. I was like, that's all I'm going to learn. That's all I'm going to learn. I was going to nail them two corners because I know I've got 3/10 of them. So let's not worry about the whole track. Let's just go nail them two corners off the track.
Yeah.
So small steps, and the more you do it, you can then go, right, I'm going to do the third corner now, next time I go back. And this has been a period of 3 years and hammering different tracks, but just don't put too much pressure on yourself to learn everything all at once. Just go and give yourself little baby steps. Just go and pick up on one thing, be it a technique or an input or trail braking or, like saying, a corner of a track. Don't worry about everything else. Don't start stressing you can't do that someone else can do. Just
And
prove yourself.
absolutely, 100%. And like, I suppose, how did you learn then how to set up a wheel? Was it just literally the same thing? Go to
Feel.
YouTube and then
Yeah,
develop your own feel? Or you just developed it?
Feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put it in. How's that feel? Yeah, okay, it's just equally. Yeah, I like that.
Fair. Just natural feel. Literally, that's
Yeah,
what it is. Like,
yeah. Do I like it? Yeah. Do I not like it? No. I tried to settings out. I mean, I had the DD1. I tried Gary's settings from his DD2. Couldn't stand it.
oh really?
Yeah. I don't like the steering wheel too heavy on the straights,
Right.
but I like a lot of feel back then through the corners, so my wheel set up in that sort of way.
Okay.
It's all personal preference. We can stand here all day and talk about wheel setups and pedal setups and feel and strength and all that business, but we're all different. And not just that, once you get used to driving with a certain setting and that's your preferred setting, then that's your preferred setting. It doesn't really matter what everyone else likes.
Yeah. And then I suppose, like for me, looking out, because I seen your setup the other day, and obviously I was very impressed. I'm a big nerd, so I was really impressed with it. What was the process then to decide, right, that that base is exactly for me? How did you know by the product for that? Obviously, the steering wheel, you get your own feel for that, and I understand that. But how did you know that base would suit what you wanted?
Research,
Yeah.
YouTube, hours and hours and hours and hours of watching different people talking about different products.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone from a CSL Elite to a DD1 to a SimiQ Pro. It was
In 3 years for a lad that's only started.
but we got to the point now where I won't be upgrading the base.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That was
fair.
that was the end goal,
Yeah.
and I'm more than happy with it. You won't see me standing here going, I need to change the base again. That's unless it breaks, we're not moving on.
That's what I like to hear. Just looking in there as well at the chat, I'm not ignoring the guys there as well. So Cooper's saying the goats only appreciate when they go. I think that was in regards to Formula One.
Yeah.
And Christian is saying sim racing is so much more than just learning tracks, but learning the motorsport and the physics in general, which definitely 100% I think is.
What I mean on that note, what I love about it though is I love going to watch the British GT, and Alton Park is the closest track to me, and to go there and you understand the bumps, the flow, there's the camber, and you look at it and you go, oh, if they break there, that might unsettle the car, and you start really appreciating the sport in a bigger depth. Even things like following cars and the dirty air with the aero, but you get that from playing things like ATC, and it gives you a real appreciation of watching it in real life and why someone might be struggling getting close.
Yeah, I know, 100%. And then I suppose that's what I was going to ask you next as well. So, what is your preferred form of motorsport nowadays to view and watch?
British GT3.
All day long, is it?
Oh, God, I love it. I love it. If it's on, I'm watching it. If it's on YouTube, 24 hours, the Total Energy 24-hour Spa, that's just like, if I'm awake, it's on TV. And if I can't get to TV, it's on the tablet within a viewing distance. That's
Brilliant. Yeah.
that well into that. I love the close racing of it.
Yeah. Well, what I like about it as well, I think it's much more. It's more driver focused because the cars are all so similar, and
You gotta love it. And you know, like when you look at the grid and there's maybe 6 cars in the top 6, and they're all different with different dynamics, different driving styles and techniques in terms of how to be driven, front engine, mid engine. You know, the Porsche, which is just a nuclear bomb on wheels, isn't it? Really, it's ready to go off at any moment. But it's just wow. How can you have all these different cars and different philosophies of how a car should go quick? All because the Bob. I mean, the Bob is fantastic, and to get these different cars with the balanced performance so right is unbelievable.
Yeah. And then for anyone who wants to, I suppose, go to GT3, then what's the best track to go to? And what corner would you recommend? In the likes of the GT3, say, because obviously you're a massive fan, you're very passionate with that. If you could pick one track, one corner, what would it be and where?
Oh God! I mean, to be fair, Donington Park and Alton Park are my ones. Is it the one after Deer Leap at Alton Park, the sweeping left? Unfortunately, you can't really get a viewing of that in real life, but that corner is unbelievable. Such high speed, such commitment to that corner is unbelievable. But the one before it, then onto that straight, is fantastic in real life as well. When you see him come around that, you see the car skidding sideways, basically sliding out and dragging out as it's going, taking that left, and it's bouncing, and it's such. When you're watching the commitment from the drivers, it's unbelievable.
That sounds absolutely crazy. I'm just looking at the guys here. So Gary Stewart was saying he loves the setup dynamics, loves the challenge and the perfect balance. Then Gary Smith was saying he started off with the Logitech G920 with COVID. Wow.
The anomaly.
So I'm gonna go back to yourself though. There's another thing I want to ask. So obviously anyone who knows you set up Amigos.
Yes.
And
one of 3.
Yeah, one of 3. And I'm asking the question because I know my experience with it from setting up leagues and that as well. But how did you deal, and how are you still dealing with managing to run a league and to make the time for it, and then kind of what challenges do you face then running your league?
I do everything for enjoyment, mate. I don't take anything too seriously. You've seen the Amigos League. I do it for fun. I think that from the moment you start taking things too seriously and letting it stressing you out, it's time to stop. I don't put up with drama or Karens. I ain't got time for that. We're a bunch of lads who want to get in the race, get into chat and have a laugh and a bit of a piss take.
Yeah.
And that's what it's there for. We're not massive on a Monday, but we all have this insane love for driving in ridiculous weather and stupid multipliers and sitting on the grid thinking, what the hell am I doing this week and what tyre should I put on? And you know what? And it's just great. We have a great crack and a lot of fun doing it. And as long as it stays that way, I'll keep doing it.
Well, I absolutely love it. As you can tell, I don't mind whether there's 5 on the grid or 10 on the grid. Yeah. It's just even Monday just gone was just a show of it. There's always something happening.
Well, that's what makes it great though, because we said to you after, didn't we? We sat there going, "What tyres do we go with?" I don't even know what to start with. It's dry now, but it's gonna rain in a minute. Do I drive to the weather now with the aspect that the rain might hold off a little bit more? It might change. Do I go wets and gamble, or they're gonna burn out before it starts raining? That's what setup to go with.
It's crazy. It's just like, I don't know, man. But what I was going to say to you there as well, I suppose another good question, well, it's a question that I really think would be a good answer from you as well, would be, so over the 3 years that you're in sim racing and over the 3 years that you've been running leagues, what have you seen being the biggest change? Is it the influx of drivers now? COVID's over because you literally got in as COVID was in as well. So what have you seen change in sim racing over the last 3 years?
Well, we had an influx, didn't we? Obviously, but what we've seen people dwindle away as well. I think a lot of people, when they got back into their standard way of life as such, being able to go out again, I think you saw people die off and die away. You know, they're back out at the weekends. We all have lives to live. But what I have found, because of that influx, is the standard and the accessibility and the acceptability of sim racing.
Yeah.
Has grown tenfold. If you look at it now as a business, when you look at the Formula One and all the massive teams who are now pumping money into sim racing, it's gone from being this thing you hid away in your bedroom and didn't talk about it, to actually now people are genuinely interested in sim racing and getting an understanding of what sim racing is as a hobby, as a sport.
Yeah.
So I think that's been the biggest change in the last 3 years.
Yeah, that's very, very true as well. I think they're definitely right with the standard has jumped up absolutely massively. Just looking there, the guys. So Amigos is the only league I stuck to since the start racing 2 years ago, or whatever. Great punch, Gary Smith.
Yeah, Gary's a great lad to have around. Great lad. He loves his potatoes, told Gary.
But he won't be fucking Irish.
No, Spud man. He's our own personal Spud man.
Oh, he's deadly. I have to say his YouTube channel is very good as well. You should definitely give Gary's YouTube a look at. I might get his link as well. I might start throwing all your links up there as well. Actually,
Gary is fantastic at putting into words what the car's doing and why it's doing it. Okay. When we had this conversation yesterday, where I could tell you what a car is doing in terms of the feel, Gary about to break that down, going, it's doing that because of said suspension or whatever, and he'll go into quite a technical insight into the cars, and his YouTube channel is fantastic because of it. And if you like watching technical videos with really good content, and he does a great channel.
Yeah, I'd agree. I've seen it there. I had a good watch over a few of his videos yesterday, and entertaining and very, very informative. And I know you were saying that you don't talk as much in that kind of way, like what your videos do. I think you both have different aims and different styles of what you do, and I actually think that both of you are absolutely brilliant at what you do. But like what I like about your stuff, Chris, for the league, I think it really symbolizes for new drivers. You literally show them straight up, this is exactly where you should brake. This is the turning point. These are your markers. You know, what you give is the most. It might seem like the simplest thing, but it's the most important thing, because you give the visual of exactly when to brake on the game, and then you do a lap to show them as well. And for them, they can really soak it in and watch it over and over, and keep going back then trying to emulate it as well.
It sounds daft. It's understanding your market, isn't it? Who's my video aimed at? Who am I trying to appeal to? I am not trying to appeal to aliens. I'm not even trying to appeal realistically to people like me and of my speed. Yeah. What I want to do, I want to pick up them ones who are maybe sort of picked up, got into it a little bit, and now they're trying to understand it a bit more. And where am I getting it wrong, and how can I improve? And you're watching these alien times, you're thinking, I can't get anywhere near that. I can't brake where they're braking. I can't turn where they're turning. I can't drive that curb like they're driving it. I'm going, because they've got these absolute ridiculous setups. There's so much time and experience doing it. You can't match it. So what I want to be, what I want to strive to be, is be that middleman.
Yeah.
Let's try and get you to my standard, and then you can start watching the alien ones, and hopefully then watching the alien ones when you get to my standard actually makes a bit of sense to you.
Yeah, I think that's it's a niche that I think is going to work for you, and I think that's only going to grow, because anyone who's seen the even the race guide videos, they're exactly what they are. When I do the streams and we're on the track and I do run the race guide, that's literally Chris's work. And yeah, I think it's second to none. I think for Amigos and for ERA, it's probably one of the most biggest assets to it, other than the community that there is in it with the drivers that are in it. But I think when someone new comes in and sees all that, it's top notch. They'll feel welcome straight away, and they're not kind of panicking shit. I mean, with aliens, what do I do?
Well, what's the point in having all this knowledge if you can't pass it on?
Fact.
I mean, when I first started, I had so much help. People giving me time and in between, and giving me tips, and even things like my pit stops now, which I've worked on because someone actually told me this is what you need to be doing to save time in the pit stops. And it's just like people want to hog information to be the fastest, and I get it. We all want to win, but if you're not got people around you pushing you, you're not going to get quicker.
Very true. Very true.
So do you know what? I'll pass on the information. I'll give you every tidbit I've got. Can I tell you something now? When you as quick as I am, and I think got 9 of us around the same speed, I'm working my bollocks off to try and get quicker now.
Absolutely. Because like as good as you are and as good as the guys are, like there's not a race where you all aren't improving, and you really do need to have your game there. Like,
you can't make a mistake. I mean, like Sunday's races are fantastic. You're getting in there and you're looking around you, and you turn out thinking I can win this week, and you turn around you're thinking, right, okay, oh shit, he's quick, and bloody hell, that's a good qualified time, and he's on it, and then you're like, right, then what tactic am I going to do this week? You know, what do I change tyres? Do I not change tyres? It's, you know, they're going to burn out. What about fuel? Do I fill up? Do I not fill up? What pit stop? Do I just go through? When we had it at Watkins, didn't we? Where I didn't change tyres. I literally splashed and dashed and got out in front and drove like hell. Yeah, okay, it didn't work out in the end.
Yeah.
But I knew at the time that both Ryans, I weren't going to on a direct strategy. There weren't a chance of me winning the race.
Okay.
So do you know what? I'm going to fill up. I'm going to let you break away. I'm going to splash and dash and not change tyres, and then I'm going to defend like bloody hell.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for track position. Okay, it didn't work out, but we tried something different, and it nearly worked.
I remember I actually thought you'd done a genius move. I remember that race. I was like, that's a ballsy move.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the strategy, and this is the other part about it. This is what I mean about the strategy. I love it. I love it when you sat there and we had it, didn't we, on Monday, where John was it John and was it John and Matty? Yeah, Matty and John didn't change tyres. They went out on wets.
And I don't know how they done that for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and they literally burned the tyres up. But then we all had to come in, didn't we, when the rain come down to change tyres, and they got the lead. Okay, they didn't win, but this is what I mean about the strategy. This is what I love about the Mondays in terms of you're sat in the grid and everyone's like, what do we do?
Yeah, 100%.
So
yeah, it's a lotto. I'm telling you, like, I don't think I've ever had one night doing comms, especially in Amigos. I'm like, I know who's going to win this tonight. No, I don't.
No one knows.
It's just like, it's crazy. It's just like you are sadistic, as they say it in this stream. You are. Like, it's bonkers. It's bonkers.
I mean,
it's so enjoyable.
Gary got his own back on John for that one, because you weren't here for this one, but not long after John joined, we had a race at Imola, and Gary pitted quite early, and it started raining near the end, so Gary tried sticking it out for the last 10 minutes, and John pitted for wet tyres, and John got him with like a lap or two to go. He made, honestly, unbelievable race. Absolutely. Gary had it in the bag as well. He was that far out in front.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the rain come down.
He just wrote in there, Imola sore topic.
Yeah. He definitely had the wrong type of potatoes for that race.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's mad, man.
Yeah, and this is what we try to bring to Mondays. We don't want a straight flag to flag race. No. We don't want it simple. We don't want it to turn up and you go, yeah, I know he's going to win this race. He's quickest. We want it that weather's coming down, and you don't know when. That you don't know. Was it Silverstone? We didn't change tyres, or where did we do it? Nürburgring? Where was we the other week? We crept around it. We for like 7. Nürburgring it was actually.
With the Nürburgring GP, yeah. I was like, sure, it doesn't look that wet out there at all.
Yeah. And we all stuck out. It was only 7 minutes worth of rain, didn't we? So none of us come in to change.
It looked treacherous. Out there, actually, for that one. But only when you look at it back at the time. I think Liam was with me, and we were like, it's not that bad.
and you trust Liam's words?
Liam is an absolute saint.
Is that what you call him?
He's the Murray Walker of Amigos.
I'd call Liam many things, but I wouldn't call him a saint.
No, I don't know what. He's a bit slutty and a bit of a tease, but I think he's bang on.
Yeah, no. He's great, Liam. You know, he's great to give abuse to anyway.
Well, Cameron gets most of our abuse.
But he brings it on himself.
He hasn't in weeks, though. In fairness, me and Liam just go to town on him. Like, fuck it.
He either wipes me off just for the sake of it, or he just wants to freeze a picture of a toolbox as he's talking.
Oh my god. Nobody understood what you're talking about there, but that was the funniest thing ever. Oh my god. And he chatted away literally 5 minutes. No, we can't say that. Oh, it was brilliant. But I
Oh,
suppose just about yourself as well. But like, what are your interests then outside of sim racing? Like in your normal life, obviously talk about whatever you want from it.
mate,
But like, what exactly are your interests?
I'm a simple man, mate. I'm a family man. I work in Monday to Friday. I've got 2 kids in my world. I enjoy my football, although not as much as I used to.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm a very, very simple man. Do you know what I mean? I love getting on here. The kids go to bed. The wife watches her soaps. She comes and sits down next to me, watches her soaps, and I jump on here. We jump in chat. And we have a bit of a laugh and a crack and a race.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean? Us men are not complicated creatures, are we? We like what we like, and that's
No.
that.
Yeah, no, I absolutely understand that. I suppose another question for me that's actually nothing to do with racing or anything like that. How did having kids change you as a man? And did it change your perspective on life and what you do? Because, like, look, for anyone that obviously doesn't have kids or anything like that, it's probably maybe a deep question to ask, but
Of course it do. Of course it is. I mean, the narrative for your life completely changes, doesn't it? Um, we're all quite selfish people. We like to do what we like, and then when you got kids, all of a sudden that time that is or was once yours, it's not. It's your kids' time, and even things like my TV downstairs. No, it's not even my TV anymore. This is why I bought a tablet. I had to revert to buying a Samsung tablet because I couldn't actually get access to the TV.
I'm just looking there. Gary Smith just wrote in less free time.
Oh no, it is. But yeah, mate, I love it. I wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
Literally, my kids are my world. I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, some people think not in a horrible way, but like kids are hard work or they're in the way. Or honestly, I love my kids to bits, and I wouldn't have it any other time. I really wouldn't. Yeah, I don't see my kids as hard work at all.
That's really good. No, that's nice to hear. No, because it's just this question I like to ask. I just like kind of asking random questions. Don't mind. That was just a random one. It wasn't a planned question.
Oh mate, I
It's
talk
just
all
really-
day about them. Yeah, we move subject. That's troubles that they are.
Yeah, well, you're a proud family man, obviously, and that's
Oh
a really
yeah,
nice thing to
yeah,
see as
oh
well.
yeah. But yeah, I love them, mate. Yeah, couldn't have it any other way.
That's going to shock everyone that's in Amigos and all. You're not just a bit of a bollocks. Like you're actually, there's a soft side to Chris there, lads.
Something's got to make me soft, mate. If it's not going to be kids, it's not going to be anything, is it?
True. And Cooper was saying what we like cars and women. That's fairly
Exactly.
true as well.
Exactly.
Can't argue with that. Cannot argue with that one there.
You had to do them together.
What's this? So, Alice is in. My wife wanted 2 kids, I wanted 1, but we were stuck with 3.
yeah,
Jesus. That's a
Yeah,
compromise.
that's it. I can have my 1, you can have your 2. There we are. Sorted.
I'll come here with Formula 1 and kind of nearly all motorsport over. Are you looking forward to the old World Cup now? You said you're a bit.
No, not really, mate. I completely disagree with the way cutouts come around, the bribery, even the thing like the way they banned alcohol 2 days beforehand.
That's crazy.
The Christmas World Cup.
Yeah, it's normally summer.
Do you know what, mate? Normally,
Yeah.
I would have it on. Like now, for example, it'd be on around me somewhere. There'd be a match on.
Yeah.
The only reason I watched the England match the other day because I happened to be around and I put it on the tablet because I was working from home. But yeah, I can't get into it. I don't agree with it. It's a shame because I think England are quite strong. I think
They actually are, to be fair.
we was a bit out of form in the nations, but I do think there's a lot of experimentation going on.
Yeah.
And a lot of tinkering just to see what works and doesn't work, and he's then come into the World Cup with a good idea of what he wants and doesn't want.
Yeah.
And I think it showed the other day we played really, really well. I think everyone performed top notch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really not into it.
Yeah, it's. I haven't even watched even a second of the game. I see Gary saying he watched 15 minutes of it. He said no plan to watch anything. Take it or leave it. Should have never been held
No,
there.
should have been pulled. Should have got told there were all the bribery going on and it all come out to light. It should have been pulled.
Oh no, 100%. It definitely should have. Like, yeah, it's silly. It's stupid how money does rule, isn't it?
Well, it does, and when you hear about all the stories coming out of there as well, in terms of
Yeah.
the,
It's
it's like, do you know, it's like getting that. It's a whole different topic for a different day. It's I don't agree with it. I'm not watching it because of it. I think that should be end of that one.
I think an awful lot of people, like even in like work and the other people I'm speaking to, everyone seems to have the same thing, like in regards to that. And then, sorry, I'm just laughing at Ellis. He just wrote, "Imagine the Irish fans at World Cup sober. Imagine them there,
No,
but all because we're never in the World Cup."
no. Just it stops there when you say imagine an Irish fan sober. Just imagine an Irishman sober. It very rarely happens, mate. So, there's two things that don't. An Irish sober, it's just pissed. That's it. I mean, they wake up. There's the reason they call Irish whiskey has, it's an Irish coffee.
Oh, can't go wrong with them. Oh, you're so nice. Well, yeah, I think Liam's right. He's like, it's a touchy subject all over or all round, to be honest, with the World Cup. I think it's a very sad thing, though. Like, look, I lost interest with football properly, like I think it was like 2004. That with like I used to be a United supporter, but I just think the football game is very soft now. I love me rugby and stuff like that. And when you look at like what happened in the Euros, even with all the bullshit that was going on with Russia and all causing fights, and I think football is a very toxic game nowadays. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I still enjoy football. I don't really like VAR. My view on VAR was it makes just as many mistakes, just different type of mistakes. So just let the natural flow of the game go. The natural passion when you score a goal, go and celebrate instead of standing around for 5 minutes trying to work out if it's 5 minutes. I really don't like it. The only things I like technology wise are the black and white stuff. So, i.e., goal line technology.
Yeah.
Great bit of technology. Yeah. Fantastic, brilliant bit of technology. The ball is over the line, it's a goal.
Yeah.
Great, you can't go wrong with that. But when these take into human error, we all think differently. So just because someone's watching a VAR video doesn't mean their decision is right or wrong.
I think it's the one wrong thing they took out of rugby was that.
Yeah.
They're over, like with soccer, it's a lot more simple. The rules are less complex.
Yeah.
Coming to football, as you call it, not soccer. Sorry. I think, I definitely agree with that. I think it's a very silly thing, and it needs to kind of go back more to basics. But then again, another thing I think with soccer as well is the guys aren't allowed actually, be themselves anymore. You look at the days when like there was Cantonas, where you can't just mad people, Ian Rush, even the boys back then.
There's cameras everywhere now, isn't there? Everyone's videoing you, and then social media will jump all over it. I mean, you're not allowed to go and get pissed nowadays and have a bit of a laugh and a letdown. Look at like Jack Grealish getting it in the off season. I'm like, come on, it's just finished the season. It's off season now. What if there's a time you can go out and get drunk and get absolutely hammered? It's now.
Yeah.
He hasn't got a match. He's hair down time. Go and party. You just won the league. What is your issue? It's like, have you never gone out and partied before? Are you that sad?
Yeah, I just think people nowadays, there is the whole cancel thing, but everyone just jumps on something. They want to be angry about anything. No one really is angry about a real passionate thing. They just jump on the bandwagon just to be angry.
Yeah. Some people just want to moan at something. Do you know what? Yeah. Go and perk yourself up somewhere. Do you know what I mean? It's more to life than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I reckon that probably Stacey Ellis causing all the issues online nowadays.
Well, he likes driving on his roof, so we shouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, I wonder what it's like the roof view. It's a new camera they need to bring into the game as well, I think.
What's that?
The roof view.
Only for Stacey, mate. Only for Stacey. Do you know what I mean? I told you that. I already told you that car had so much wing it can run inverted.
Christian found out I want to moan some tonight. Ellis pissed off the pair of yous.
Honestly, mate, I watched that happen in the race and I thought, oh my god, it's the men in black going down the tunnel.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say this now. When Stacey's coming on, my intro music for him is going to be Limp Bizkit, Keep Rolling, Rolling, Rolling. Just for the crack.
Oh, shame we didn't hit an Irishman. We could call it Bangers and Mash.
I don't know if hitting any of that, mate. It's alright. Oh, stop. I suppose another thing, back when you were a kid, what was your dream job growing up, or was it like when you looked at Formula 1?
I didn't have a fucking clue what I wanted to do growing up, to be fair.
Not race cars, right?
No, footballer, Do you know? Do you know what I mean? Like every kid playing football, I'd love to be a professional footballer, but yeah, I didn't have a clue, man. Going for school, even when I was like leaving schools, what do you want to be? I'm like, I don't know.
Anything to do.
Yeah, well, just in fact, the one thing I didn't want to do was be in the industry I'm actually in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And do you want to tell the guys about your career? Because when I was listening to you last night, genuinely, I was just like, holy shit, there's so... Like, when I hear the actual role, and then what you tell me you do, I never expected that. Like, how complex it is as well.
Oh, I sell and design industrial fire alarm systems. So on a commercial side, not houses. I don't touch houses, nothing to do with me. So anything from flats, offices, hotels, beyond. That's what I do. But I've been in sort of the electrical industry all my life. My dad was in it when I was born. He owned his own company in it when I was a kid. Hence the reason I didn't want to be in it, because can you imagine being dragged up to his warehouse after school, doing deliveries at the time, and school holidays, being dragged out doing deliveries in the van with him, because that's the only way he could look after me, because I don't look after me as a kid. And I was like, I ain't doing that growing up, boring. And here we are, still doing it. Just a slightly different sector within the electrical industry, but here we are still doing the thing I said I'll never go and do in my life.
But honestly, it sounds like you love it, especially like with the detail of like what you're able to do, and then like you're obviously very technical, but I think you also love a bit of the wheeling and dealing side of it, getting the chase, sealing the deal and stuff like that as well.
I enjoy my industry as a whole. To be fair, it's so fast paced. There's a lot of banter. I take the piss out of absolutely everyone. I don't take myself too seriously, and the industry's very much old school in that sense. We don't have too many Karens. If you come into it as a Karen, you won't last very long, because you'll just get ripped into from the moment you walked in, and if you can't survive, you'll sink and off you go again. So you got to be able to take and give the shit, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much, because that's very much how I am as a person. I'm gonna give you it, but I expect it back.
Yeah,
I mean, I give it you as soon as you come onto Skype yesterday.
Oh my god, actually, I have a picture I need to show all you. I actually completely forgot about it. I'll have to upload that and make a scene now in a few minutes. Yeah. That is peachy. Guys, I have the best headshot ever of Mr. Chris Tedder. You'll understand in a few minutes. Looking there. So, Doc Smith wanted to be a gynecologist, apparently. And Christian, thanks for the sub, bro. I suppose another thing with the job, would you recommend it to anyone who's looking to change a career? Would you reckon it's a career?
The industry's a career.
Yeah,
it's a career for life. And what I like about it is there's a job for everyone doing something within it. Be it a delivery driver, be it a storeman, be it a counter lad, be it a salesman, be it a manager. There's so many different roles in so many different sectors within it, and you will have a job for life. Genuinely have a job for life. So I love it. I'm still doing it. I've moved around within the sector trying different things, but if I didn't do what I'm doing now, I could go and find a new job tomorrow, still within the industry.
That's fair.
It's great. It's job securement is brilliant.
That's really nice. And then a question for you as well then. So obviously it's a role where numbers are a good bit. We were discussing it yesterday. So are you driven by the financial gains or complete job satisfaction, or is there a fine mix for you there?
It's a mix. It's a mix. I'd love to say I work because I enjoy it. No, I work because I have to, and I have to pay the bills. And ultimately I want a job that I enjoy, but realistically I want to take my family away on holiday.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I want to be able to go for something to eat. If I want to go for something to eat, if they need clothes, I'm about to buy them clothes. Yeah. I don't want to have a job I love. Yeah, I got a family who's struggling because we can't afford the gas and electricity every month. So,
and my God, is that going up every time?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So do you know what? I go and work my bollocks off, and if we want to go away once a year, we can go away. We'll go away a couple of times a year. Okay, might not be. This year we did Scotland and Ireland. Next year we've got a proper like holiday. We'll do Scotland again or something like that for a week. But we'll go away next year, hopefully for a couple of weeks.
Where would be your dream location?
I don't know, mate. I don't know, mate. Like we did Italy a few years ago. We loved it. Did Portugal not so long back. That was great.
That's beautiful.
I mean, I'd love to go and try Croatia. Go and get a map and put a pin on it. I'm sure you'll find someone in that location, which is fantastic to go and see.
Yeah. So it's mad that normally people would like go Australia, America. Well, I think you're right. There's just too many places to really say one place. Try and travel at all if you could.
Well, you would do, wouldn't you, if you could?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
being funny. You could literally open up a map of the world, drop a pin, and then Google what's in that location, and there would be something in that location which is worth seeing.
Yeah. 100%. And Christian has brought up a point as well, which I think is crazy. For me in Ireland, it's the same. I don't know what it's like for you in the UK, and I'm sure you'll answer this for us as well. Christian's saying that in fairness, it's cheaper for him to actually go to holidays in Portugal than it is for him to go on holidays in Germany. And it's definitely the same for us in Ireland. It's cheaper to get a foreign holiday than it is to actually have a holiday in our own country.
It's mad, yeah. I mean, we went to Scotland, and I think Scotland cost us £1,000 for the week for the cottage.
Wow.
And it's just like, do you know, I mean, you could book tickets and go away, couldn't you, for that?
Easy. That's what I'm just thinking. I was like, that's a 2-week holiday.
Yeah, and then I think flights to Ireland, what are they, £450?
To Ireland?
Yeah, well,
I suppose with the kids as well.
yeah, you can fly for pence, can't you? If it's just you and you take a rucksack.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start bringing in a woman and kids, you actually start paying for extra bags and
the
luggage.
bags and,
Yeah. If it's just me, I'd have a hold on of it going on and back. I mean, I used to
That's the truth.
fly to Ireland back for £20.
I know. That's what I was thinking. Like the flights to UK are literally about €30.
Yeah, like £20. You can't argue with that, can you? It's like,
Oh.
it used to cost me £20 to fly there, and £18 for the train.
Yeah, I know.
like-
I know.
How does it cost me £2 less for a train ticket than it is to actually get on a plane to Ireland and back?
Yeah, and like even think about it, that's 20 minutes in a taxi for £20,
Yeah.
and you can fly to the UK. Like,
Yeah. But
makes no sense.
we used to fly. So sometimes when I was smaller, my mum used to buy tickets from Manchester to Galway. Obviously, a lot more expensive. The propeller planes. That's a different experience altogether.
The propeller plane.
Yeah.
I haven't been on one of them since I was a kid. I'd say,
Can't hear a thing you're saying, can you? Because them propellers are just so noisy.
especially in the smaller, older planes as well. It's like, "Rrrr." Well, Gary's after mentioning a kind of a holiday which I've never experienced, and have you experienced it? He's saying his holidays are generally on a cruise ship, and he says recent ships I was on was the MSC Bellissima and the MSC Grandiosa, which obviously goes over my head. But he said they're pure, like, amazing engineering marvels. He says pure luxury in a new country or city every single day. That's an interesting concept for a holiday.
I would love to go on a cruise, but my wife is dead against it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she got some form of fear being on a boat like that. I don't know. Not every boat's a Titanic, love. Do you know what I mean? You can go and enjoy it. I would really love to go on a cruise and then go and explore these different countries for half a day or a day, whatever you're going to do.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
But she's just dead again. I think when we go away, we book villas, and we have a private villa, private pool, get a car, and she likes our own space.
I understand that too, though.
And I can't grumble, to be fair. I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
But that means things like the going on a cruise like that, it's just, for her, it's out of the question. It's way too many strangers around her for her liking.
Fair. She's obviously someone that likes her own space and likes to do her own thing, which is good as well. Christian's going to make you sick, though. So you were saying £1,000 for a house in Scotland for a week?
Yeah.
So he said we were away for 1 week in an apartment straight on the beach with deck chairs, ending in the sand, with flight, food, a car, gasoline and other expenses. It was £1,000 per person.
Yeah.
That's just so good, like.
Yeah.
So good. And the weather. That's amazing.
Yeah. We will get abroad again. We'll get another filler booked up at some point. Just get 2 weeks away somewhere. But I love going to see my mum in Ireland. That to me, that is for me actually one of the most relaxing holidays I can go on. Going over to see my mum.
Especially where she is in the West, man. Oh.
It's that stuff, but like my mum's a proper mother hen.
Yeah.
And I go over there, and it's like, it sounds daft, but it's like going back in time. It's going back to being a kid again. I have no stress.
Yes.
She cooks, she cleans, she sorts you out. You know, my daughter's playing with my brothers, and it's like, God, this is what it's like being 14.
Yeah.
I could just relax and let my hair down, and you're just so chilled.
Yeah.
And it's like, I love it. I come back just so refreshed from being away. It's one of the best things I can do. That.
No. And as I say, where they are, though, it's probably one of the most beautiful parts of Ireland as well, though. So you're very blessed that way. And at least with the kids, then you could let them run around the fields for hours and not have to worry about it.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? It's
Um,
fantastic. I love it. And go down to the
yeah,
seaside. I mean, well, we're not far from the seaside here, to be fair,
yeah.
but my mum's not either. But they got the big fun fair down there on Salt Hill, which is
Oh, yeah.
we always down there. Sun was out. Fantastic.
Oh, it's just, yeah, beautiful area.
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
It's a beautiful, beautiful area. Christian saying, I feel like that spending Christmas with my girlfriend's parents, the feeling you were just staying there about the relaxation
Yeah.
to just kind of relax.
To
He
see,
gets that with his, he says, really wholesome. I love hearing this stuff as well, because it's those kind of things that make you the man that you are as well. You know what I mean? And shows a bit more character in you. You like the homely things in life and just being able to chill.
what are you saying? I'm boring.
You're a mama's boy. I think we all are. Let's be honest
That
about
would
that.
surprise. My mum moved out of my life. My mum and dad broke up when I was like 8. I actually lived with my dad, to be fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice though because I still close to my mum. My mum moved to Ireland when I was 11, for example.
Wow. Okay.
So I've been going over for a long, long time.
Well, it's nice though that you have that, and it's nice then that you have that escape as well. Obviously, I'm sure it was hurtful ever going through that as a quite young age and that as well. But I think it's nice to have that kind of escape that you can go to Ireland then whenever you want and just kind of
Oh, great.
get that feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It is. So I'm just seeing Gary saying he's going to Dominican Republic. It's never been, Gary. Never been.
Oh wow. Dominican
It's
Republic,
all right for us. I'm in it for work as well. Gary said he works hard. What he means, he drinks hard.
Gary, what do you work at? I'm very nosy.
Yeah.
What other questions I have? Like, I've literally so many questions, but you've talked about so much of it that I'm just like, no, we've talked about that. I'm going to go through that one there. Right, there's a question, and like I think this one probably you could talk about for hours because there's so many ways it could go. For motorsport, not like sim racing now, what do you reckon the future will hold for the likes of Formula One and GT racing, especially with electric being more prominent than hybrid and stuff like that? You ever seen GT3s and even Formula One going completely electric at any stage?
No. Formula One won't because you got Formula E.
But that's shy. Just yeah. But what about GT3s?
Well, they might go hybrid. I hope they never go fully electric. But hybrid's more dominant, isn't it? There's more hybrid cars. But
Yeah.
the one reason I think it might not go hybrid is cost.
But for the global footprint, that's the only. Like, that's what I fear about all motorsport. Like, I think we're in the heyday of motorsport now because I have a feeling it's going to die a death.
Well, at some point it will do.
Yeah.
But let's talk about maybe going hydrogen rather than electric, which might be a saving grace.
Okay.
Look, the future in technology is going to move on no matter what, isn't it? Do
Well,
I think GT3s are going to go down an electric route anytime soon? No. As long as they're making a car as they are, they're going to drive it. I think the change will only happen when the manufacturers dictate that change.
Okay. I'd say it's cheaper for them to keep it as it is anyway.
Exactly, yeah. Because you imagine the price of having a hybrid or an electric.
Nah. Like, turbocharging is probably the more fuel efficient way because you look at the Formula One engines now and how fuel efficient they are, and even thermo efficient. Like, they can bring that efficiency over to GT3s as well and turbocharge them if they have to.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, they might go to a hybrid type engine, and I can see that. I can see that happen in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with hybrid engines. I think they just make the petrol engines more efficient and quicker.
Yeah, they make them a little bit heavier, but definitely way, way faster. And Cooper's after saying the BTCC is already hybrid.
Yeah, so I think
that's true.
I think used in the right way, hybrids are positive.
Absolutely. Oh, there's Christians after saying Hyundai have done a great or good concept on the hydrogen one.
I've seen that. There's 800 miles on the tank apparently.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Let's hope that future comes for motorsport. That's crazy.
Well, you want to see that technology on the road, don't you? First and foremost.
Yeah. Well, see, I think any major technology ever from history has really come from racing.
Well, that's what Formula One used to be, didn't it? Formula
Yeah.
One used to be the technology, then it used to work its way through. But
Yeah.
if they're working on this hydrogen type car, fuel cell, whatever it's going to be, we need to see access from the garages first and foremost about to use it.
I suppose in the build up there.
Yeah, and with the price of electric nowadays, I think hydrogen could very much take over, because if electric keeps going up like it is,
Yeah.
and hydrogen could be the go-to sort of fuel we all move to.
I'd say so. Yeah. It sounds like, especially. Oh, Christian's heading off. I'll talk to you later on, Christian.
See you later, Christian, mate. Have a good one, pal.
So Gary's are saying motorsport rules change too slow nowadays. Manufacturers will lead motorsport from here on. I think that's happened really in the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. It'd be dictated by the manufacturers when that change happens.
I think that's the sad realization with most motorsport now. Like, I think GT3 is lucky because it has such a variety of the manufacturers in it. I don't think.
Well, it's still it's a gentleman's drivers. League, isn't it, really? And I think unless the manufacturers are, when I say dictated, but more from a government level to go down that route, they won't, because they need these cars to be affordable for these people to go and buy them to then go and race them.
No. And then even talk about affordability, I'm going to go back to sim racing as well. Obviously with the price of rigs and PC parts, everything like that, do you see sim racing getting kind of more affordable to the console player eventually, to kind of get down from the cross away from the likes of Xbox, PlayStation, and onto the better platform? Because realistically, the PCs are a much better platform than the consoles. But obviously, consoles hold a massive amount of drivers because of the simple fact of how cheap it is and how accessible it is then.
Everything's going to come down in price. I think we're seeing, aren't we, now with the likes of Moser? Some of the stuff coming out are really, really affordable for some good quality stuff. What we need to be seeing, it's not so much the hardware that people making it. We need to be seeing the consoles becoming more open to these new players coming into the market. When you see like Sony charging an absolute fortune to have the chip to play on the console, it's like, what? Why are you charging so much? All you're doing is you're taking away the experience and the enjoyment of people moving. And if Xbox move quickly or PC's coming more affordable, I think it's only going to harm the console player. I mean, the amount of people we know who have bought PS5s now, who then go and bought PC and don't touch a PS5.
Yeah,
it's they're getting so sort of big-headed and unapproachable in a way, aren't they? They need to open it up more, and the consoles are getting better. I mean, the PS5 is a bit of a machine, to be fair.
I'd say the same about the Xbox Series X. Now I went from that. I had the PlayStation 5 as well, but what I don't know, for myself anyway, and the reason why I went to PC is that you can mod stuff and you can it's way more accessible that way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and you're right. You're saying you will eventually update your PC, but you can do it in bits, can't you?
100%.
But even like your PC will outperform a console for a long time.
On idle, it outperform a console. You know, that kind of way. It's a massive thing. And even Cooper, there's another man saying it exactly what you said. He hasn't turned on his PS5 in 9 months.
Yeah.
What's the point of having that?
Well, Joe, I sort of, when I say I fell into getting a PC, you don't fall into getting a PC. But what happened? I had the PS4, the original PS4. I never changed it. It just worked fine. And I had Gran Turismo. And the PS5 were getting released, and so I go to the wife and get the PS5.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh yeah," I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's obviously in a nice way. It's not a conversation, but I'm getting a PS5."
Yeah.
And also, you can't get hold of them. So I said to her, "Look, I could get a PS5, or I could go PC. I can't afford to buy one outright, but I can. The finances, I think it was like 9%. It was pence.
Yeah.
I was like, I can get one on finance. I can afford it on a monthly basis. I could put the 500 quid towards the PC." And she just said, "Look, can you afford it?" I was like, "Well, yeah." She's like, and she backed me, to be fair. She's like, "Yeah, go for it. If that's the way you want to go, by all means, go and get a PC." And I'll tell you something now, I've never looked back.
Yeah. I think what would your tips be as well? So obviously, when anyone who's kind of moving over to PC, where would you start? If you were Chris Tedder from 3 years ago, well, looking,
Mate, it's a bombshell, isn't it?
it's
What I would always say to people is start by how much you can afford.
yeah,
Okay, what's your budget? Don't forget the peripherals. Peripheral, can't say the words, because because you need a monitor, you need a keyboard, you need all that the other crap that goes with it.
yeah,
Okay, but what's your budget? Because it's a look. We could all go on YouTube and look at a 4090, can't we? And a 900K, whatever it is, overclocked and wall cooled and flashy cases, and it's just like, how much is that? It's like $6,000 or whatever it is. It's like, I can't afford it. I got $1,000. So do you know what? Go and work out what your budget is. Then go and research the PCs that are £1,000. Go and look what's in them PCs for £1,000, and then research the individual components of them PCs to then work out what's your best bang for buck.
Yeah.
So if you got £1,000, then you can go and get I don't know, a 10th gen i5. Yeah. Or you might go out to AMD. Just go and research the two chips of them generations.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, CPUs have gotten so cheap lately. I've been looking at them and I'm just like, wow, like there's performance out there for so cheap.
Well, you can get like a 12700 now for like £200, 250. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, the 13700 is £500, and it's outperforming the 12900. It's like
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what's killing that at the moment though is the motherboards, isn't it?
Yeah,
the motherboards I'm looking at going through the roof.
Yeah, I was looking at AM5 motherboards. Remember, I was only discussing with you the other day about the AM5 for a good one.
Yeah, I was looking today, and I think it was something like a 13900.
Yeah,
a Z90 motherboard, some DDR5. It might be a cooler in there or something like that as well. I can't remember. It was like £2,000.
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous. Because then, realistically, then you want to go up the edge of GPU, don't you? And that's another couple of grand at least.
Easy.
And then then your power supply was talking about, that's another £200. And then you got to work out if the actual case fits it. That might be another £150. And that's if you build it yourself.
Yeah. Gary Smith's saying he's got a 12900K and it's still bottlenecks to 3090.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So like I said, for me, when it comes to buying a PC, many PCs will do what you want it to do.
Absolutely.
It's just how well it goes and does it. You can race ACC on many a PC.
Oh yeah.
Now for under £1,000. And like I said, work out what your budget is. Go on to all these different PC websites, be it Overclockers, Scan, eBuyer.
They're robbers, overclockers stuff. Wow.
But what I mean though, you can go on these websites, can't you? See what their PCs are for the budget you have.
Yeah.
And then work out what's in them.
Yeah.
And then go away, and if you want to build it yourself, but at least you got an idea of what you're getting for your money.
Yeah, I'd recommend a website called Paradigi. Now, they're actually from the Netherlands. No, I mean, you get some 6 specs for cheap, well, good prices. I think that's the best place to go.
I got my PC off eBuyer. To be fair, there was nothing wrong with them for me. I think if you go on Google, you can find issues with them. But I think if you go on Google, you find issues with every company you buy off.
Well, that's Karen's giving out all the time. Come on.
Well, no one ever says well done, do they?
No.
That's the way I look at it. Everyone always complains. No. You're soon to complain, but you're never soon to say, "Oh, that was great." It's like when you get these surveys through when you're going to get something done. It's like, "Oh, can you let us know how well we did?" And you're like, "Oh, sod that, I ain't doing that." Take that now. If you had a bad experience, you'd be straight on it.
Oh, yeah. You've ruined me Christmas on my life.
Yeah. I can't feed my kids now because my trainers didn't turn up.
Yeah, that's quite true as well, man. That is very true. Yeah, no, it's definitely, I think hopefully it does get more accessible. But definitely you're dead right. I think that's a great tip for anyone that's going to get into PC world, is actually look at everything and really price it up. And what's the name of that YouTube dude you look at? Because I know I look at Linus, but
you mean Jay's 2 cents?
Yeah,
Jay 2 cents. Yeah, it's American guy. He's really, really good.
Yeah,
he gives a lot of information. To be fair, I think a lot of worthwhile information. So I mean, Linus is pretty good. To be fair, he's not quite my cup of tea.
I like that he does all the older tech. That's why I'm just more nerdy about the older stuff that he does.
Yeah, yeah. But Jay's 2 cents is really, really good. I used to watch what's his face? The Australian sim racer.
I wouldn't have a clue.
Oh God, I'm blank now. But it just goes into too much detail. Do you know what I mean? That's it. Boosted media. Thanks, Gary. Do you know what I mean, if you're going to do an hour and a half video on something, I tell you something. Nah, I ain't watching it.
Nah,
I ain't.
you want to film on that.
I ain't watching an hour. I ain't watching a half an hour video.
What if Gary made the video?
Mate, I'll be running around naked.
Gary, get that video done. He'll do it on live stream.
Yeah, Gary can do whatever he like. As long as he's got a spud in his mouth, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's your kink, is it?
It never was, you know. It's Gary's fault. It's grown on me over the seasons with him. Honestly, I've never seen a spud move so quick in my life.
Oh, really? Good old Gary. And Campbell's catching up with him, though, in fairness. Campbell's doing that.
I tell you what, Campbell, he's come on leaps and bounds. You know, he was always quick, but I find maybe over the last 3 or 4 months, he's gained maybe an extra second or so. He has improved dramatically, and I think where there's been an influx of quicker drivers, he's moved on with them drivers.
Yeah, he's excelled, definitely.
It's pushed him. It's pushed him big time. He's stuck with the BMW. He's not moved car, which helps. Which is by the way is the correct thing to go and do. So find a car and stick with it.
It's the wrong BMW, but yeah,
no, it's the right BMW. Not that boat you pretend to drive around in.
That M6 is a beast.
Yeah, you got that right. Yeah,
I love that.
It's the Swamp Thing.
Just your reaction there for one thing.
But he's like stuck with the car. He's learnt that car inside and out, and then he's applied the techniques around him of what people are using. He's learning extra lines, braking. You can see it in his driving. He's calculating what people are doing and taking it on board, and that improvement has been massive. He's becoming a really, really good driver.
Yeah, I know I'd agree with that. And speaking back of the sim racing, so with ERA for next season, who do you reckon your competition really will be on track? And
mate,
what position are you looking to? Where are you aiming to come?
I'm always aiming to win, mate. You know that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm at that level now where I turn up each week where I aim to win. It's not always the case. I might not be on the podium, but I turn up to win. But we ran through this the other day, didn't we? I think we named 9 or 10 drivers.
Yeah.
All of a similar pace. So yeah, I'm aiming to win, but there's 10 of us aiming to win each week.
True.
It's that close. It is now that close. There's no standout. Yeah, some of us have got strong tracks, and there's some of us go to tracks like I love like Suzuka and Kyalami. Do you know what I mean? I love them tracks. But you get me around like Imola and Kota. I mean, my God, go and get me a shotgun.
Gary said that's your favourite track, Kota, by the way.
Fucking favourite track. Yeah, favourite track to get run over at.
And come here, actually, a subject that we didn't talk about with the esports, which looked at the ERA as well. With the endurance stuff, how do you enjoy the endurance stuff? Is it like a nice change?
I love it. I love endurance racing. Yeah. I love the team factor of it. I love the fact that you're as a team having to pull together.
Yeah.
As a team, you need to get a car that fits you, suits you, the setup that you can all drive. That you got to be there for each other. You know, you might crash or bin it, and your teammates are there, pick it up out of the wall, carry on.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? And
100%.
To drive for a period of time, and like we did a Watkins 10 hour.
Yeah.
I think we finished 7th in the end out of 30 odd in a race where there was some. I mean, Jardia won it.
Wow.
To be in a race of that sort of calibre, and we should have finished 5th to be fair, but just come out at the end and go, we did a great job.
Yeah, I think you feel fulfillment. Like obviously, the only one I ever done was with Chris Watt and Ellis that time, and even though we had very tough moments, I was still proud of everyone finishing. But what I enjoyed is the teamwork, exactly as you said. When something negative happens, they really kind of get your mind back into like, no, no,
Yeah,
focus,
yeah.
get back in there, and it's brilliant. It's
And
great for the mentality.
we double stint a lot, so most endurance events the stints are 65 minutes,
Yeah,
and we're double stint, so we'll do a 2 hour and 10 minute stint. I love that. I love, yeah, getting in the car for 2 hours like that is it's great fun. It's
yeah,
great fun because you really get into the groove then.
100%. And I think it brings up your own stamina then, and then when you're going into the hour races, you can just absolutely give it everything for that hour then.
Oh, easy, mate. Yeah, I mean, an hour's nothing. To be fair,
Yeah,
it's an hour in is a sprint race. But then again, the way to look at endurance races is just multiple sprint races
yeah.
because you got to come in after just after the hour. So it's don't look at the full 24 hours. Look at it as 24 1 hour stints.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to yourself and Harper coming back after a tough first round with the ERA.
We
In
should
terms,
have
when I say tough round, you
we should have won
six to.
that. We should have won that.
I look, I know,
We
you were
should have won that.
so.
We should have won that. As a team,
Yeah.
we weren't the fastest driver. What's his face in the Honda? We're quicker, but as a team,
Oh, I know who you're on about. Yeah.
we had the strongest team, and we should have won that. Even when we had the drive through, we still should have been podium. Do you know what I mean? We were on for that. We were looking at it and calculating all. It was like, actually, do you know, we're going to win this. As we stand right now, we're going to go and win this race. We're fourth at the time, but this whole strategy is falling into our hands. We've nailed it,
Yeah.
and we knew we nailed it as well as we're going through. We're like, we've got this spot on. Do you know what I mean? All the times you can get it wrong.
Yeah.
That race, strategy wise, we absolutely nailed the strategy.
I think you were pushing way too hard, and I think that's what killed you in the end with the track limits. You were just pushing, pushing, pushing.
What it is, I mean, I didn't help. I gave Harper three track warnings.
Yeah.
But what it is with me with the McLaren is all that mid speed corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to it, so I'm pushing that McLaren to try and understand how to get the speed out of it. And I was just literally, I'm talking just, I was letting off as well, and still getting like warnings. Like, hang on a minute, I've let off and losing a ton of time here. How the hell have I still got a warning here?
Yeah.
And it's just car knowledge. It's just that's all it was. I think if it was in a Honda around there, we wouldn't have had the same issues.
I think if it was a tighter track as well, you wouldn't have, because Silverstone, you really can get away with kind of.
I love Silverstone.
Yeah.
I love Silverstone.
But
Yeah.
I think it's one of those tracks though where it really pushes to get a track warning or over limit, because you are pushing every bit of that track to get a better time.
You have to. I mean, you have to at most tracks,
Yeah.
but you're right. It's like the first corner. You really got to chuck it in,
Yeah.
and then get on the power. But if you go just over that curb, it's a warning. But
Yeah.
if you want to nail that lap, you have to chuck it in and get your foot down nice and early, and then go through Maggots and Beckett's like, you know, you're through, and if you hit a curb the wrong way, you've gone sideways again, ain't you?
Yeah.
But it's risk and reward.
True.
It's a lot of tracks have that risk and reward in different ways, don't they? I mean, if you go to Kyle Army, that is it second to last corner. You got that right hand turn at the sausage.
Yeah.
It's a real tight right, and you it's a third gear, and you literally got to throw it in, but you can hit the curb and you're off. You know what? It's race over. It's like
Yeah.
there's many corners like that in the ACC where it's a do or die corner basically.
Oh, 100%. Cooper saying and the hard to get track cuts in Silverstone. I'm assuming that is. How are you prepared then for the next race? Have you and Ryan kind of got any practice in for December 3rd yet?
No, rock and roll, baby.
I guarantee you'll sweat it the day before. There's not a hope,
maybe, yeah, maybe.
100%.
But do you know what? We're in the bloody McLaren round one, so we're sitting ducks, aren't we? There's no straight line speed in that McLaren at all.
Just cut the wings out of it.
Could cut the wings out of it, man. They stick rockets on the back after cut the wings out of it just to get enough speed. Honestly,
You know what?
I
Get
told
the
you,
M6.
strategy, mate. Strategy, bungee cord.
Yeah.
Just go and find a Honda and strap a bungee cord to it. It's the only chance we got to get anywhere near the front.
Do you reckon you'll be on the podium?
No, I think we'd be too off after. I'm going into Monza realistically, in terms of if everyone races their race, we won't get a podium out of that one.
Wow. That's a massive contrast from, like, obviously in Silverstone then to pace wise. Maybe the car is probably the biggest handicap there because it's so much of just being on throttle and going flat out. Like,
Yeah, we'll make it through sector 2.
yeah,
You know, because that's where it'll be strong.
yeah.
But I think we'll lose too much in sector 1 and 3.
Oh, them straights, yeah. Like, you'll probably be a 10-mile-an-hour difference by the time you're
Yeah,
up on the top
it'd be something stupid, mate. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
we will make time back between. But the problem you got though is the one.
defending.
I think the one lap pace may be there. If you nail the lap, then the McLaren makes time just in a different way. And but the problem you got then when it comes to the race, either defending or overtaking are done on them two straights, and it just won't have it.
Yeah.
So you could be as quick. I can imagine being quicker, but not being able to get an overtake done because we just can't get close enough to the car in front.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. You'll come up behind them in the second sector. The third sector, you're doing nothing. They can just defend by putting their foot down, basically.
Exactly, yeah. So where we'd be strong, we can't get past and get onto the straight, and we can't keep up.
Yeah, it's kind of a track that it's going to work totally against us. Because even if you do catch them on the back straight, the next turn then onto that massive long main straight, yeah, you're... Hopefully, look, we could be wrong. You could be an absolute legend and give it the win and, you know, dedicate it to Stacey Ellis for being on his roof.
Yeah, mate, we're all open for drive-throughs and stop-go 30s in this team.
Absolutely. Well, look, you don't know what looks going to happen to as well. That's the joys of racing. I just seen that.
I told you, Ryan, mate. We're going for the bungee cord on a Honda, mate. So you may be the lucky car.
The rain charges for the tow, though.
Does it? I'd charge him to get to look at my decent-looking car behind him.
Oh, Honda OP, Gary Smith. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other things. Like, so obviously we still have a lot of stuff to go through. What all the other guys
I think
as well.
what we need to talk about while we've got Gary there is talk about Gary's lap of honour he wanted to do around Kota after the Bob change. He was claiming that it was shit, and that on our outlap we had to do a lap of honour for the dead Audi. At which point he then proceeded to win the race by 20 seconds.
Wow.
Can we just bring that up? How he done nothing but complain all week after the Bob change, telling us how shit the Audi R8 was. That we should do a lap of honour before the race for the dead Audi.
So just sandbags got thrown out of the Audi then, was it?
Yeah, then he went and won by about 20 seconds. So yeah, so much for the dead Audi.
That's how you do it, Gary. Well done.
Resurrection, if I've ever seen one, that was.
I absolutely love it. Lads, I'm going to be nowhere. You can do your own.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's shit. It's ruined it. The R8, they've ruined it. The Bob that's destroyed it. They've absolutely destroyed the Audi. It's undrivable. It's like crap. The tyres are gone. It's crap. It's done this. They've done that. It's useless. Oh, look at that. Gary's won by 20 seconds.
Cooper's ever saying he thinks the Honda is more OP at Monza than Spa. I'd reckon Monza, because Spa has you need definitely a lot more aero on Spa than you do in Monza. It's a much more technical track.
But also bear in mind after the latest Bob, they have reined the Honda in a little bit at Spa. Monza, I should say. Yeah, the Honda's not as strong as Monza as it once was.
Oh, really?
It's still very strong. Don't take me wrong. It's still the quickest car there, but at one point it was ridiculously quick, and they have reined that in slightly.
Oh, actually, see, that's why I don't know much about the updates and that, because when you're telling me, I love the Jag.
You went one word too far there.
Why?
Well, you went, I don't know much, and then you said updates.
Well, no, right. I don't know much about a lot of things, but I do know one thing. The Jag and the M6, best cars in the game.
This is my point. When I said to you went one word too far. I don't know much. That should just be an end of conversation.
Man, nah. I know the M6 Genu is my favourite car now, but obviously just the others have to drive. But I really want you to arrange just a race of everyone in Jags. I just think that'd be epic.
I'm just looking for the tumbleweed.
I can just... Oh, it would have been so fun if your logo starts spinning. I would honestly love to see like all the older cars being used, like a race where it's all like the 2015 cars and stuff like that. Because they don't get used.
Mate, it's not a classic straight at Goodwood.
I don't know. An M2 grid. That'd be interesting.
M2's great, mate. The M2's a fantastic car. It's really good fun to drive. It honestly, curbs don't even exist in the M2.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, they're just like, what are these? We're gonna go. We're gonna actually gonna eat these for breakfast while I'm at it.
Is that just the trait of all the BMWs?
Oh
They
no,
all
the
seem to be
M2,
very
mate.
good.
I think it's because it's a slower car. It doesn't bounce it and be in the front engine.
Right.
But it literally just chew up curbs. They're so slow, mate. Honestly, you must have been a Reliant Robin. They're going that slow, but
Yeah.
if you want a fun, close race, because there's no aero, you can literally just drive behind each other. One of the funniest races I ever saw was that I think there was a load of them at Paul Ricard. You think the car's so slow and such a long straight, but honestly, it's just nose nose to tail.
Wow. I say like Paul Ricard, but look, that's a track I'd have to look into. No, I think that would be a really cool one. I'm going to open up the Discord now because I know there's a few messages in Discord. Let me have a look here now, and I'm sure you'll go through them as well. Down to the right channel, which I'm after flying by.
It's an X5 with an M2 bad. Do you mean an MX5?
MX, oh yeah, the MX5 is a class.
Ah, they're great.
Right, so let's go with this one for you. So this is from Ellis, right? What is it you want out of sim races or sim racing? Some love the hardware, or what's it you love or want out of sim racing? Yeah, and so some love the hardware, some to compete in. How far do you realistically want to take it?
Fun.
Yeah.
Everything I do is for fun, mate. I don't take anything too seriously. If you start taking it too seriously, that is, and it stops becoming fun, stop.
Yeah. 100%, I agree with that. Otherwise, it is just tedious, and there's nothing worse than doing something that you really don't want to do.
It's not a chore, mate. It's not a chore.
Yeah.
It's a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep it a hobby and enjoy it.
Yeah. And then Mountain Man has asked what got you into it in the first place, which I think you've kind of
touched on earlier. Yeah, through the YouTube, you like to Jimmy Broadbent and people like that. Watching some of the ridiculous laps he used to do around like Nürburgring and the different cars, and then I was like Super GT, Giardia, Dave Cam. This. I mean, I used to watch a bit of Boosted Media, but there's tons out there in there to go and watch. I one of the favourite ones I watched was actually a Jimmy Broadbent one, which I'd love to do here, by the way. It's on AC. He does camper fans against the Honda Lawnmower multi-class race.
Nice.
Oh, and AC, funniest race I've ever seen. I'll tell you that now, funniest race I've ever seen. I'd love to do that here.
We should do a special event then.
Yeah, that needs to be done.
Yeah.
That needs to be done.
Yeah.
I'm on a lawnmower. We did a lawnmower.
I would as well.
We had 5 of us on lawnmowers around Monaco one day.
Monaco would have been amazing.
Yeah, we did Monaco. It was only 5 of us, but we got the Honda lawnmower around Monaco. Funny as that.
What a hero. And he was actually just asking as well, there was a 2-part on that one, and he says, what keeps you in it even now?
Just fun, mate, go back though, it's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just got to remember what it's about. For me, I love racing. I love motorsports. This is fun.
Yeah.
This is why I'm on it for hours, because I just enjoy it. This is not a chore to me. This is my hobby.
I think it's a lot better hobby to have than going out on the beer and just pissing your money up against the wall as well.
Of course it is, but I love racing. I love watching racing. I love racing. I can sit here and race because I enjoy it, and that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to jump on now to Shogun or Melco. So question 1, have you experienced other types of sim racing? How do they compare to ACC, and what's your personal experience in them? Look,
ACC is my go-to sim.
Yeah.
Okay, I've dabbled. I'm literally going dabbled. I tried a bit of iRacing, couldn't stand it. I've got AC, which again I dabble in. AMS2, which I think is really good actually. What I decided was I love GT3 cars. They're the cars I like and like to race. I used to race them going back further than that onto Gran Turismo Sport.
Oh yeah.
GT3s are the cars I like to race. ACC is the best sim for GT3 cars.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be quick at one sim than average at a load.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
I think that's a very good question, or a very good answer, and the fact that I think that resonates the best is you'd rather be good at one than be average at loads.
Yeah.
because then you get to enjoy it a lot more as
Of
well.
course, the competition makes it fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And he's after asking a second question there as well. He said, "Have you ever taken an active role in the sim racing back office, administrating steward and commentary modding?" So I don't know if he knew that you actually run a league. And he said, if yes, what type of new perspectives did it open to you as a racer? Very good question. If not, would you ever consider the option?
Oh yeah, I obviously run the league, don't I? Um, so what more perspective was it?
Has it given you like a different perspective on sim racing as well by running it? I think is what he means by that.
Um,
Did it give any new? Oh no, sorry, new perspectives as a racer.
Not really. The only difference being is I can implement what I want to implement.
Yeah.
But when I started this league, I decided very early on that we was not going to be a standard league. We was going to be mixed conditions. We were going to have rain. We are going to have high multipliers. We're going to drive at night. We're going to drive from day to night or night to day. You know, we was not going to be an everyday league. We're going to be Marmite. We're going to be different. You're going to like it. You're going to hate it. But this is what we're going to be.
Yeah.
And I offered to rein it in slightly. I've even offered, but the lads who race, they're there for that very reason, and it will always be a mixed condition league.
Absolutely. I think that's why I really gravitate towards it as well. Like obviously, you know, I started out with ARC, yeah, back in the day, and I started out with the Assetto Corsa, and I was doing commas and that, and then I moved to obviously what is ERA now. And then what got me into yours is I was talking to you one night, and it set me for a while, and I had hooked up comms with a Formula One league, and just turns out the sport that I commentated on for 3 years, I just fucking hated the game.
Yeah.
I didn't have the passion for it, and then I approached you, and then when I seen what you do over there, I was like, that's mind blowing. Like it's so much fun. It is. And that's why I love both.
It is a lot of fun, and it's a lot of banter as well.
Oh, definitely.
You know, everyone gets it, and I'm the first one to give it as well, and you give it back. I mean, people join our leagues, and straight away we're going to work out what's this, what's about you, and we're gonna take the piss out of you. I don't know what it's going to be, but you're going to get the piss taken out of you on something.
I think isn't that just me, myself, you, and Matthew kind of stepped on that. I think when you get to know somebody, you don't want them saying hello to you. You want them saying something awful to you because you know your mates. Then you know what I mean,
mate. I don't even have to know you when you join the league. You're going to get it.
Yeah, that's just how it should be.
I mean, Chris Wall. I don't know if he's watched. Chris Wall used to join in. And he used to get really mad if he crashed. I used to come in and take the piss out of him. You've had your chill pill today, Chris. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But he really settled into the league and become a big part of who we are and what we're about. And
absolutely.
I stand by every driver we have in our league. I think every one of them is brilliant. I really
honestly agree.
I do. I appreciate every single one of them who are in there, and they understand we're not the biggest league, but they get what it's about. They get the community.
Yeah.
And it's great to have them there.
I think once they understand the community and understand, you know, that the culture of what you're looking to achieve, and you know, just the camaraderie. I think it's more for me when I look at it. It's not just random races. When people join, they just become mates. Every time I see someone coming in, it's just like you nearly think they were mates for years.
John joined, and he had this, I don't know, bats or whatever they were on the back of his car, and it looked like a mustache. that was it. I don't care what they were. They were a mustache. Do you know what I mean? And he was like, "Oh no, they're this or no." It's like, fuck off, John. It's a mustache. I don't care. I don't care what you're telling me they are. On the back of your car, you've got a mustache. Why have you got a mustache? Why have you got a mustache on the back of your car? Yeah. And from then on, he got called the Mustache Man. and that was it. And then also,
the old Johnny Tash.
Yeah. And then we got Gary, the Spud Man. Do you know what I mean? And then Matty joined. It's like, great, we can go 1 potato, 2 potato now. We're fucking, do you know what I mean? We're on it now, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? We can start singing it now. Like we got.
I love that the Irish guys are in it as well.
Yeah, we got a whole bloody community joining us now. We can't get rid of you. You got the third one. It's like, honestly.
Well, it's like what Tommy Tiernan said years ago. An Irish traveller, they'd move into a house by themselves. They'd open the door a month later, and there'd be 50 of them.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like waves that you're joining. but it's great fun though. Do you know what I mean? And
Oh, it is. It is.
and everyone in there knows how to have a laugh and have a banter and
Yeah.
have a joke and a piss take. And I love getting in chat. And for me, racing. See, I've always said like with amigos, first and foremost, it's community.
That's how it should be.
Community first, racing second.
100%. I absolutely agree with that. I really do.
Okay, and this is how we keep the equilibrium within the community, right? And this is why we don't get any dramas, because it's community first. People are there to have to chat, to laugh, to joke, and then basically racing with friends.
Yeah, but that's exactly what it is. But what I like is the diversity of where everyone's from as well. And especially in the ERA side of it now, we have all these African boys joining in from Eleanor,
That's
which
great.
they're
Great.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But I love like Christians or German.
Yeah.
Like without sim racing, there's literally hundreds upon thousands of people that would have never got to know each other and, created such a bond.
There's one language in sim
Yeah.
racing.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
literally.
It's one language. It's one
Yeah.
language speaks all. We all speak the same language.
Yeah.
We're all these mad nutters in our house, sitting in front of a monitor,
Yeah.
driving pretend race cars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all speak one language, and it doesn't matter where you come from. We just want to race.
Yeah. I think that's one good thing I've noticed. I don't know what it's like over this side. I've never asked people, and like to be honest with you, it isn't a big thing. But in my old league, we actually had like people that were like transgender and gay racing, which I would have never known until they said it to me. So that's what I love as well with sim racing. There's no barriers. There's
It's one language.
exclusions.
It's one language.
Yeah, I love it.
It sounds daft, but you could be on the track with someone, and they might not be in chat, camera, or whatever. It doesn't matter who's on the other end of that car. You're racing that car.
Oh, you want to get by that car?
Yeah, it doesn't matter who's driving that car, how old, how young, man, woman, whatever.
Yeah.
We are one community, one language, one love.
Yeah, I love it. It's brilliant.
We have this strange pull, like I saying, to drive pretend race cars, and it might be on a PC, it might be in your house, but that competition is real.
The minute the minute you press drive, you're in that race. You're in that.
Yeah. Tunnel vision, then, innit?
Yeah.
Get out
You're
my.
literally in Donington or in.
I mean,
Donington,
just ask Matty. He's like, get out of my fucking way. If not, I'm going to punt you off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It was an accident. I need to take this win. That's it.
Yeah. I got no damage.
So sorry.
No damage from me. Didn't happen. I don't know how you ended up in the wall, but I didn't touch you. If I got no damage from spinning you, it didn't happen.
Unfortunately, Ellis took the crash, and his way of doing it was a different kind of way. He put himself on the roof.
Well, that's a whole different. He took it to a whole next level there.
What he needs to do is sign up to Matthew Gamble's How to Take People Out course. It's only $99.99, I think, at the minute. There's a discount for Black Friday.
I think Ellis's was like one out, all out.
Gerard is after saying, Chris is getting my philosophy now. Great plug, mate. Oh, brilliant. I'll go jump back into the questions. We're getting sidetracked here. Sorry, man. So this is from Mr. Cooper. For someone trying to improve pace, what are the best things to do?
Well, we touched on this earlier, didn't we? I think everyone improves different ways, but I was saying my way was to either find one technique to go and work on. If I'm learning the track, go and find a corner I want to improve on. I always say bite-sized steps.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will give myself a lap time I want to get to, an achievable lap time, that is. So, let's say when I first started driving Alton Park, I was doing 36s.
Yeah.
I was like, right, I want to get to a 35. That's my target is to break a 35. I'm going to learn that corner. In the meantime, over a period of time, I'm going to improve this bit of my driving technique. Either my input out of corners, my throttle input coming out of a corner, I'm going to work on, so I don't lose the rear as much, because losing the rear loses you time. Yeah, you want to keep that car under as much control as possible on the acceleration to stop you getting traction control, you know, all that business. You just bleed time.
Yeah.
So, and then, period of time, next race at that track, it's like, right, I nailed that one, I'm going to work on the next corner. But in that process, I've worked on my throttle control. Right, I'm going to work on attacking this corner slightly better. You know, there's a curb there which I'm going around, but actually, if I line it up better, I can drive over the curb.
Yeah.
So my whole improvement now is learning how to take that curb properly.
Nice.
Okay, and I want to do a mid 34. Okay, what did we do last time around? Was it 32 something? I think it was.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
Yeah, so I've gone from a 36 down to a 32.7 or whatever it was. But this is over a period of time of taking little bite-sized steps.
Yeah.
Of not putting too much pressure on myself. Of going, oh my god, how do they do that? I want to be that speed, or I'm gonna watch track guides and I need to take it all in. No, you don't. Go and learn one bit of technique.
Yeah.
Go and break down the track in bite size, and for that race that week, just go and nail a certain part of it.
Yeah.
And if you can watch someone's track guide and look at yours and go, do you know what, I'd do that corner like they do, and you couldn't before, then you've improved.
True. I think that's probably the best bit of advice you can give anyone looking for pace. Bite size, perfect one area, move on to the next area.
Don't overdo it. I honestly, I've always done that. I started showing you the other day with like driving on the white line.
Yeah.
Literally for ages, all I was doing was driving on a white line. Because what it was, I realised when I was watching replays, I wasn't using enough of the track, and only by about a foot or something. But I was like, I ain't using enough there. I'm a foot in, and I'm not abusing the exits enough. Maybe on the apex, I'm on the apex, but I'm like, I'm not getting far over. And then before that, it was like on my left hand where your steering wheel was in game, I'm using it, but on the right hand side, I'm nowhere near.
Yeah.
I was like, I clearly don't know where that side of my car is. So my whole aspect is I'm going to learn where my car ends, and that's all I did. Just so when you see me race now, like let's say Bathurst, you literally see me race up against the wall because I know because I know where the car is.
Yeah. He obviously perfected it, and Cooper was saying there he did something similar, that he just kept to like one track until he got really good at it and then moved on.
Yeah, and just accept that it's small little steps, small little techniques. Don't try and learn every technique. Go and give yourself one technique.
Yeah.
Just one thing, nice and simple. Like one of the ones which I keep under myself even now is don't oversteer.
Very good one. Keep the car balanced and just give it enough feed where it's not losing too much slip either.
Yeah, but sometimes, like let's say at Watkins, when you go through the bus stop and you take the right, you can put too much lock on. And what you actually find out by releasing the steering wheel a bit, you actually grip up better. So you're turning the steering wheel thinking, oh my god, it's not turning, and you're releasing the throttle. What's actually happened, you got too much lock on.
Yeah.
By opening up the steering wheel, you actually grip up when you take the corner better. So one of the things I try and work on even now is trying to work out certain corners. Am I oversteering? Can I give less inputs? And that way I'm not scrubbing the tyres as much. I actually get better traction and grip and getting better exits and carrying more speed. Yeah. Apex speed. That's a massive one. I did I remember when I was trying to learn Spa and I was looking at one of the Luke Addison tracks. It was somewhere between 1 kilometre and 3 kilometres different.
Wow.
On the actual apex and every single corner. But that made 2 seconds a lap difference.
That's ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. It was like, wow. It's like you're watching the lap and it doesn't look anything. But when I actually nailed it down, it doesn't seem much. Because at the time you're thinking, well, I'm doing that. But when I actually paused my laps on the apex, I was like, bloody hell, look at the it's look at the difference there. So one of the things that even now I work on is trying to carry more apex speed.
Yeah.
On the corner at my slowest point, am I carrying more speed than I used to? Which I clearly am, because I'm getting quicker. But this is, again, these are more I'm going to say more advanced techniques as you learn to control your car better, as you you understand the balance of your car, maybe under braking, and your throttle inputs and your brake inputs improved, allowing you to then concentrate on setting up your car properly in corners. So as you're learning, you need to learn to balance your car properly. Your car needs to be in control. And one of my worst mistakes when I started was I used to brake too late into corners, and what got brought up was right into the corner I'm still fighting the car The car
Yeah.
is still unbalanced because I brake too late. By braking that bit earlier, when I've got to the apex of the corner, my car is completely balanced. I'm in full control. I'm able to get on the throttle nice and early. I'm able to lift off and get my car lined up early, so I'm carrying more speed.
Yeah.
And so many people make that mistake.
No, I agree. I'd listen to you about that all night, and I think that's a video for you to do as well, as actual just a genuine explanation. I know you give out about doing long videos, but I think that kind of information, if a newbie was listening to it, would really understand it a lot more.
Yeah.
Like for anyone who understands racing to a degree, would understand it, but for someone coming in, that's the information that they need to be hearing as well. You know, about just getting the car steady, getting the apex ready, and then making the time back.
Yeah. Lose it on entrance. Lose it on entrance. You gain it on exit. I mean, I've got a whole driving tip section on my YouTube page based on things like this: overtaking, defending, braking, accelerating. It's there, and it's basic information, but it's there for people who need to know it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going to jump on to the next question for you, bro. From Daniel Pickles. He says, when running practice laps, what do you have on in the background or on the second monitor?
Nothing.
Fair. Do you not even use the app in the second monitor while you're...
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
I don't even have crew. I don't have anything on. I have all my crew chiefs in game, off.
Right.
Crew chief app I don't even have on.
Okay.
I work off a sector time.
Okay.
And a target time that I've set myself. But it's just a personal note. Just it's not for everyone.
That's your preference.
Yeah. The second monitor is great for my endurance racing. The only things I have on is a ACC drive.
Yeah.
And that's and that's purely for fuel.
Yeah.
Because it automatically calculates your fuel, so I can literally do my practice, go in it, and go click fuel, work out fuel, an hour race. How much fuel do I need? Bang, there's my fuel. That's the only reason I use it. But yeah, I don't actually run any bits of software really when I'm racing. I have it all complete. So I use the radar. That is my information.
Yeah, fair. But like, I suppose you're that experienced, so I think it just comes second nature to you now at this stage. To be fair about it, like.
Yeah. The only thing I got to be careful of is when they got 30 seconds left and you got to get onto the grid, because I literally have everything turned off. So I'm in the setup screen. I had to keep popping out to check the time.
Yeah. Fuck. John Dudds is after asking something. I think you've touched on this as well, but I'm sure you might have a bit more of an answer for him as well. So he says, what does Chris think are the most important techniques for racing with other folks in an online race? And then in close brackets, just the best way to race close without having accidents.
If you're following John, you just want to punt him. Any man who has a mustache on the back of his car doesn't deserve to be in front of you.
What match is behind you?
If Matt's behind you, just pull over and let him pass. Trust me, you're going to finish a lot harder than if he's following you, because it won't be for long by the time you end up.
I have another one for you. What happens if there's an LS comes off the track on the roof coming towards you?
Shit yourself. But no, go.
Go on.
But no, following. If you want to follow someone, lift off into the braking, like before the braking area.
Yeah.
Lift off the brake. The slipstream will pull you in, and then if you're learning, look for their brake when they brake, and then that way you're not actually losing too much time. And if you're braking when they brake, therefore you're braking at the same set distance to when they're going to stop.
I think you need to trust the driver as well. With online racing, when they say race close, you really need to trust and know who you're driving.
But to follow someone, if you lift off nice and early and then brake when they brake, because you've already lifted off and braked when they brake, you're always going to stop quicker than they are.
True.
Okay, so sometimes depending on the driver, you might apply that technique, especially if that's. So I do that quite a lot if it's a slower driver, believe it or not, because I know my natural braking position will be later.
Right.
So I will lift off early with the aspect I don't know when they're going to brake, and then I will brake when they brake as such. Just one trying to judge their driving, And then when I get more confidence in terms of what they're doing, I will then push
Fair.
a bit more. But there will be you'll see me following, and I will lift off the accelerator nice and early, brake when
So
they
get a
brake.
learn and feel absolutely. You kind of learn what way they drive and understand it,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
go for it.
yeah. So yeah, sometimes you get you move earlier, but sometimes like if you especially like saying slow. Look, if you're 4 seconds quicker than someone, which you can be,
Mm.
they're doing something completely different than you are.
100%, yeah.
But what are they doing different?
Yeah.
You don't know. You just caught them up. You don't know their lines. They're breaking lines. Where they're stopping. Where they're turning. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lift off nice and early. I'll
Yeah.
brake when you brake. Do you know, if I'm 4 seconds that quicker, there's actually a very good chance you're actually going to overshoot the braking anyway. So at which point I'm going to nip up the inside you anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to give myself distance. Doesn't stop accidents always happen, but 9 times out of 10, I like to think I can drive quite close to people.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's as you say, it's experience. You read the driver and you understand it,
yeah,
and that comes with practice.
yeah, and what happens though, actually, because you're in the league and the community, you learn drivers. I mean, I always say when you first join the league, there's always accidents.
Yeah.
It's like driving an open lobby in it. Really, you don't know each other.
Yeah.
But what happens if you stick in a league? You learn the drivers you're driving with, and you learn their styles. You learn the different people and the different cars and the cars they're driving, how they're driving it, and that allows you to drive even closer again.
Yeah.
So most of the people there, I mean, John asked that question, but me and John literally can drive literally right on top of each other without touching. That'd be one of the questions why he's asking that on Benson, because we literally are on top of each other in races sometimes. And it's, I mean, you look how he was with Matt Gamble the other day.
Yeah.
That's
Actually,
great driving, great driving.
That was a great race between the two of them. It really was. That was enjoyable.
Yeah, that's just like, you don't need many people. Me and Gary had races like that. We're going races, and it'd just be me and him racing each other.
Yeah.
You only need one person at your speed to have a race.
Absolutely, to enjoy it. And once you're on literally the same bar, it's great fun. You lose one day, you'll win the next day. It's one of those things.
Yeah. Or they punt you off, whatever. Matty.
Look, I think that's just Matty there, and I'm sure Ellis will kind of go down at his route after his class with him.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking about a lovely lad here, and I think this was a genuine question because he's a driver who I genuinely highly rate, and I'm pretty sure you do as well. Chris Wall has asked, have you ever had a bad run of form / luck? And if so, how have you got past it, basically getting your head back into it, asking for a friend?
3 months straight when I first moved to Honda, mate.
Or was it that bad? Was it?
Yeah. It was a nightmare. But
wow.
Do you know what? Like I said to you, I just love racing.
Yeah.
I used to come to every race like, how long is it going to be before I've been this at this time? But I used to turn up, and I used to go. So how long is it going to be? I will bin the Honda this race, but can I get further than last race?
Yeah.
And I used to really struggle in the Honda with heavy fuel. So I used to fill it up, start a race on cold tyres, and I guarantee I used to bin it. It used to kill me. Cold tyres, heavy fuel, the Honda used to just kill me every time.
It's a twitchy car.
Honestly, I remember doing a race. I was second place in Honda, and I was on the first lap, and I put it in the wall. Car alarmed me. I was gutted. I was like, I could have won that race. And it's just, but going back, enjoy your racing.
Yeah.
Don't get too mad at it. Don't get too down by it. Why do we do it? We do it because we enjoy it.
100%.
Sometimes, there was a time I was in a group chat with 3 other lads, and at the time them 3 lads were by far quicker than me, and it got to a point where it getting depressing to a certain extent. No, you're saying like not enjoying it. So I sort of politely went to them and said, I'm dropping out the chat, lads. Not for me. And they got upset by it, like, why are you leaving all this stuff? I'm like, sorry, but... And I literally pulled away from it, and I went back to just concentrating on my own race. Yeah, just concentrating on me. I didn't have to be as quick as them. I didn't have to compare myself to them. And I just went back to enjoying my racing. Just go out and enjoy it. If I'm not as quick, I'm not as quick. But when you're in and that happens, it's just understanding when them scenarios arrive and putting certain things into place to not get yourself down, and stepping back and sort of look at yourself and go, why am I doing this? It's a big thing, and to remember that you do it because you enjoy it, I think it's the biggest thing I can say.
No, I definitely resonate with that. I just think it comes with experience, and And I think as you get older, I think you get more patient with gaming as well. I'm not saying you're an old fart or anything like that.
Shut your
Um,
mouth.
well, no, I'm not that far behind you, horse. To be fair, but no, I think it's just something that comes with age. You learn to stress out what you can control, because if someone takes you out of the race, you've no control over that. It happened. Yes, it's an absolute disaster and it happens, but you just kind of got your get your head back into it, like, and finish the race. Just I like. I think now I would finish race just out of the pure principle of fuck it, I want to get this finish regardless.
But you
But
sometimes just need to. You can be pissed off and you can be annoyed, yeah.
absolutely,
But do you know what you need to do is give yourself 24 hours and then get over it.
yeah,
I mean, I don't mean that in a horrible way. I mean, John Dudley had one, didn't he, the other week? And literally straight after the race, he left chat, gone,
yeah,
disappeared. The next day, he come back into chat. Sorry, lads, I was annoyed. It done my head in, but I'm back now. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And I do it. And Liam's made me laugh here a couple of times because he's known it. Because I won't speak for 2 days. Do you know what I mean? You're allowed to go and get annoyed.
Of course, it's human nature.
Yep. But remember, take your break. Take a step away.
Yeah.
I'll do it for a day or two. That's like you won't see me in chat because something's annoyed me. But then I'm fine again. I'm back. I'm back ready to go again. Come on, where's the next race?
I think that's the best thing, is just let it brush off your shoulder. Yeah, I absolutely feel the emotion. One thing I think I was saying it in the mod chat as well is for me personally, I think it's a sign of a better character is if something really bad happens, is not to react to the person in chat and be bitching and moaning to them as well.
I hate that.
Yeah, just go and sort yourself out. The stewards will deal with anything. That's why I've always trusted the stewards for that. As frustrating as things get, and if you get took over, like what happened to me the other day, I was annoyed for a second, but got on with it, and then I ended up ruining my own race by putting it into second gear to pit lane. But anyway, but you know what I mean. When these things happen, you just have to accept fate sometimes and just get on with it.
Yeah. You won't see me kick off in chat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Over anything, really. It's just it's gone. Do you know, let me just calm down on it, and we're carrying on again. Yeah, I'm here to race in the day, and there's another race next week. There's another race tomorrow. There's always a race on to go and jump in and race.
Absolutely, and I think the biggest thing people don't realise is, well, they probably do, but maybe not in the heat of the moment, is that everyone else in the league, like, they are mates as well, but also some people might take that abuse way more personal than someone else. Like, someone could mout at me all day and I'd be fine with it, while someone might take it to heart. Do you know what I mean? And even deter them from racing. And I think that's the biggest thing. Always conduct yourself in a good way that doesn't really affect someone else. Yeah, you might have one bad race, but you don't want to make someone's life bad for days or weeks down and they don't want to go racing.
No. You need to enjoy it. You need to enjoy it. You need to make it enjoyable for other people as well.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're one community. We speak one language. Just remember
100%.
that.
No, so Charlie, man, I love this, and I'm actually really intrigued with the question. How many hours have you got on ACC?
Oh my! Okay, here we go, lads. Let's have a look.
I'm really interested in this one. I'd say it's thousands of hours.
Why is Steam not opening? There we are. Library. 1,278 hours.
Holy moly.
1,200 hours.
And yet you can't handle the Jag.
No. I've done 1,200 hours to know the Jag's not worth going in, mate. There's a difference.
I'm actually going to change my car to the Jag for Thursday. I haven't even drove one lap of Mount Panorama, but I'm going to go with the Jag for the laugh. I'm going to lap you.
I'm going to lap you. Dream on, son. Dream on.
Well, Matthew's going to end up taking you out of it, which means I'd surely get a lap ahead of you.
Yeah, well, okay, I'll give you that one. That is a good dream to have.
It's a dream that could happen.
We keep talking about realistic targets and realistic dreams, mate, and that is definitely one of them.
That's definitely you have a realistic target of doing Apex. As a realistic target, Gamble's going to take you.
It's all about realistic life opportunities being taken out by Gamble.
And that's why I'm a commentator, because I definitely can't beat you in a race.
Yeah, or listen to Gamble waffle about something where it's frozen in his toolbox.
Man, Gamble, that was just probably the funniest thing ever.
Brilliant.
So random. I have a message now by Christian for you. So, how much of your spare time do you spend on sim racing and related projects?
If I'm in and it's night, I'll be on.
Yeah.
It's 1,200 hours. I think that says a lot.
I'm just after seeing what match you put up there. Last time I was in Bathurst, it was Chris that took me out of it.
Yeah, he did. He slammed his brakes on, mate, like way too long. And
Oh,
I
so he's brake checking you. So basically,
it
what you're
were,
telling
mate.
me.
Yeah, what it is,
Yeah.
he nearly hit Nick, so he slammed
Ah,
his brakes on. I slammed. I was in the process about to get on the power.
I was
I,
commentating on that
yeah,
race.
yeah, that's it. I tapped him.
Yeah.
Do you know what? The tap wasn't actually that bad. Yeah, it half span him. So yeah, I contacted it half span him, but
Yeah.
because of the corner, I might as well have been able to see on my roof.
So he's the kind of dude that brake checks you and says it's your fault, and then takes you out of it and just be like, "Oh, look, I got no
Mate,
damage. I'm gonna."
mate, he looks in his mirror or he looks at his window screen and goes, "Has that man got a spud?"
I
And if it's
wonder
an
if he related to George Russell.
if it's a no, he's taking you.
Gary Smith safe, so.
That's what I mean. He's never touched Gary. No, I always thought it was coincidental, but he clearly isn't. It's well thought out.
Skylar Davis has a nice question, and I think quite an interesting one. What is your favourite sim racing moment that you've experienced? What has been the pinnacle? What's the one memory you can take from the last 3 years and say that was my moment? Other than Gamble taking you out of it.
Well, that was a moment. That was more than one moment, mate. That was multiple moments. There's that many moments, mate. I made a picture clip, a pictogram. Honestly, it's tough, mate. I've done a lot of racing.
Yeah.
I loved it when me, Ryan Harper, and Gary did the 10 hours of Watkins, and we went in the Merc, which is a car we don't drive.
Yeah.
We all put in a massive performance, and it wasn't a win. It was 7th, but as a team, we come out of that buzzing.
I love that one because it's about teamwork. It's about the fun of it. It's the joy. It's not just about
Yeah,
winning. That was the pure joy.
That was the joy of achieving in a car none of us drive, or a setup for a car again we don't drive.
Yeah.
3 different driving styles. We all drive mid-engine cars, but we all drive 3 different mid-engine cars. So I have the Honda,
Yeah.
Ryan's in the Ferrari, Gary's in the R8. They're different cars completely.
Absolutely.
And getting into a front-engine car that we never drive,
Yeah.
and putting that performance in as a team, for me, was massive. I was proud as a team of what we achieved there.
No, I think that's a better memory than saying, "Oh, I won a race or championship," because at the time that you put into the likes of doing the endurance, and for me, that has been my favourite kind of place to commentate. Genuinely, I do love all the league racing. That endurance race for ERA was just so much fun, and it actually flew by.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably the same for you when you're racing in it and with your teammates, because you're doing so much. Even when you're not in the car, you're giving them information that it flies.
That's where that second monitor.
bond.
That's where that second monitor comes into place.
Yeah.
We was able to pull up all the data, exactly where are we, what's going on, exactly what's around us,
Yeah.
and you're playing the team game then, and that for me was really, really enjoyable.
Yeah. And then, okay, so Nathan has a question that's completely off topic of any sim racing, by the way. Have you ever been arrested, and if so, what for?
No, I used to be able to run too quick.
You never got caught. You were too good.
Only slow fat ones get caught.
Oh, that's me fucked. So.
Well, that's why we always went out with you.
Oh no, trust me, I've never been caught by the guards unless it was in a crash. Matthew Gamble has a question for you as well. What's your real car history like? Now, I like this one because he showed me your current car literally last night.
Yeah, my cars are not flash. Didn't know you were down sports cars. It's really quite weird, really, because growing up, I always knew I'd have company cars. So my own cars were always crap. So my first one was a Peugeot 206. It was a 1 litre engine or whatever, 1.1. I had power steering, that was it. I always used to say I had delayed central locking. I had to unlock my door and get in and unlock the other door. Delayed central locking.
That's I love those days.
Delayed central locking, mate.
Yeah.
Power steering, that was the luxury of that car. I had it for 5 years. It took me everywhere, that car. Then it was falling apart. I actually sold it to a garage and picked up a Rover 300. Or a Rover 25, I should say, or something like that, for like 300 quid. It was like what I got rid of my Peugeot for, just as a run around. Then I had a Golf. And then from then on, I went to company cars. So I had a couple of A4s, Merc C-Class,
Yeah.
Mazda 6, BMW 320 Tourer.
No,
Got my RAV4 now. So
which you love.
yeah, I do. I love, honestly, mate. Family man, love it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But the spec of it as well is nice, though. That's the good thing as well. You've got a good spec.
Yeah. Couldn't
Yeah.
ask for no more in it, really.
Yeah. That's really cool. I think that's all the questions there. So, guys, anyone who's watching there, see there's a few watching between either streams, throw the questions in as well for Chris. And Chris, I was going to ask you as well, do you want to, I suppose, break down in your own words, I suppose, what Amigos is and why people should be coming? Like, I know why they should come. I say most races to try and join over, but for you, what is the main core of Amigos? I know you've probably touched on everything, but if you had to explain what Amigos is and why people should join it and what to expect.
We're a mixed condition league, mate. We're like I said before, we're community first.
Yeah.
Okay. You come and join the race, and you come and get in chat. You know, we're gonna have a massive piss taking chat. Yeah, we talk while we're racing, and we will take the piss out of each other while we're racing. Don't come in there expecting it to be too serious. We don't run that way. But the racing is competitive. Yeah, people are there to win. We don't run a beginners league. It's mixed conditions. We're going to throw you some all random conditions to go and racing. Don't start driving in it because you want daytime dry weather. That's not who we are. You know, we don't run that way. But you will improve because of it. We had a race the other day in Era, and I think the top 4 drivers all drove in the Amigos League.
Yeah.
And it just shows you that because of the racing we do, it shows and it pays.
Yeah.
We run it. It's there. It's 8 race. It's an 8 race league a season. It's all an SGP. Like I said, it's all there. It's all done properly. We like to have a crack, and obviously with the association we're here as well now. So it's not like there's 2 communities there, with the era community being massive as it is. Do you know what I mean? It's always someone around to help as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose then, what's happening with Amigos coming into 2023? Because I know your season will be ending soon enough as well.
Yeah, but we don't stop, mate. We don't stop. We run straight through. So we will have I think it's 2-week break over Christmas.
Yeah.
We're back. So we'll run 2 or 3 races before Christmas. We'll come back on the 2nd.
Yeah.
We race on the Monday, don't we? So we're going to run straight through, have a quick break for Christmas, and crack on. Yeah, we don't stop. We don't stop between leagues. We get straight into each one.
Yeah. And if I was somebody who just came across this tonight, I was thinking, right, that's great hearing about. How do I join? And when is the new season starting?
You're not welcome. No, joking.
We're an open community, but you're not welcome. It's perfect. What are the kids here now?
I'll say it. All feuds have gone to 0 now, mate. They've all gone.
Yeah. Sorry,
That's all here trying to work out how to join, and now they realise they can't. They've done one.
Yeah,
Right, the easiest way to do it is go to www.amigosracingteam.co.uk. There's 3 Discord servers on there. One of them says ACC, or Amigos ACC, whatever it is. It's the only ACC one on there, mate. That's the easiest way to do it. Just click on that link. Faster first, if you go to Sim Racing GP, go and find Amigos on there. There's a link to the Discord on there. So there's a couple of different ways of doing it. So we're easy enough to find. If not, just give Horsebox a load of abuse, and sure he'll find you a link.
Well, good enough. In my Twitch, there's a link to your even YouTube, so I'm sure they can find you through there as well.
Yeah, you can get in contact there with me if need be. I might not reply, but I might reply if you're lucky.
If you're lucky. And I think I'm going to ban Cooper from my channel. # no jags allowed. That's just blasphemy, that is.
Well, you know, Cooper knows what he's talking about. He's an experienced sim racer, and any man of sense will understand that the Jag is not worth touching.
Cooper's me boy, and I know he's only messing. I know Cooper be a man and drive a Jag. I know it. I know. I really want the Jag race to be done, though. Alpha DMs, I was going, it's true. The fuckers drove off and left me.
What's that?
I don't know what that's about. I can't remember. We've talked about so much.
Do you know what though? What I'd like to do, I'd like to do the Porsche Cup and the Lambo ST.
Yeah, that would
A
be
cup
quite interesting.
a cup kettle race. I think that'd be good.
Yeah, I think that would be quite interesting.
Do you know what I mean? I want to start doing the GT3, GT4 off season race every time we have an off season.
I honestly, for my whole one lap of that, was so enjoyable.
Do you know what I mean?
So enjoyable.
That was a great race. To have the top split all in the GT4s
Yeah,
was a lot of fun.
I was. And to be honest with you, I think we were saying this before and as well. It's great then that the guys who mightn't always get a chance to go for a win were fighting for wins.
Yeah, and they were actually having to lap cars
Yeah.
instead of getting lapped.
So it's a different experience, which
Yeah.
is, as much as you can make a joke about it, I think it's a great thing, and it's great for confidence as well. Even though it is two totally separate things, I think it's a phenomenal thing.
Yeah, it just changed the perspective for everyone. All of a sudden, we're having to move out of the way, and our races are getting affected, and they were having to worry about back markers and how to work their way through it. I think the perspective switch it caused was good for everyone, and the reason we had to do them two cars was to force that to happen. Because I genuinely believe if we put the cup cars in instead of the GT4s, I think some drivers in the STs would be as quick as some guys in the GT3.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the guys are wetting themselves to see Gary Smith do a Jag race. Sorry about the last Amigos race. Yeah, I do remember. And then Gary Smith was saying there he'd race anything, and he's literally going, "Oh, the Lambo ST. Oh yes."
Yeah, the Lambo ST is a great car. I had not driven it hell of enough, but the little I have driven it, it's been good fun.
Yeah, I'm just writing there. But do you want to talk about then your socials? Plug obviously everything. I want to get your YouTube, everything in there, because there is amazing content on that, and I'm not just saying it because you're pretty much to my face. I know it's amazing. It's actually brilliant. So just to plug it away, mate.
Horseboxisshit.com is my website.
The nudes are on there. On the toilet.
OnlyFans page is not a horsebox. My Instagram is my god, it's Horsebox.
Oh my god, it's Ellis on his roof.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's Campbell.
And the Twitch is Horsebox News. Job done.
I like my nudes.
Yeah,
they're beautiful. They're very cute.
But yeah, you can find me at Chris Tedder on YouTube, Chris Tedder Racing on Instagram. I think it might be Chris Tedder Racing on TikTok, although I don't really use TikTok so much. But my main socials will be YouTube and Instagram. That's where you can find me. Full of very average content, but that's what it's all about.
It's definitely not average content. I don't know why you're putting yourself down that way.
It's full of a piss poor content, but we do try.
Well, look, at the end of the day, I think you're doing a great job with it. I think you're in an amazing league. Now, you're a bollocks, but everything else is great that you do.
Not everything's a win-win, mate. Not in this world. Do you know what I mean? You can't have it all. You can have the great league, but by God, you're going to get my abuse in the process. Do you know what I mean? If you carry on, mate, we're just going to refer to you as Bold Box.
Bold Box. Oh, no, well, I have the headphones on. It's all right. Can't take off the hat. I have lovely hair. Golden locks.
Full head of hair there, mate. Sorry. Got that wrong. I just meant forehead instead of hair.
I'm very sad now. Horsebox is crying. Oh man, I wouldn't mind, right? A true story, right? Since I was 19, I had a shaved head, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when in my early 30s, I was like, I might grow my hair again. Got some shock. I was like, nope.
No, you're not coming back.
Not happening.
No.
Where's the miracle girl?
Yeah, you got rid of me a long time ago, mate. I ain't coming back now.
I was like, all right. But no, guys, I want to thank everyone. And first, actually, Chris, I want to thank you for agreeing to jump in to do this, because it's kind of an unplanned unknown what we're going to be doing, and hopefully it develops more and more. I've thoroughly enjoyed speaking to you, and I'm sure the guys have as well, and getting your experiences, and especially the fact that you run leagues and that you're so community focused and like so focused for helping others. I think that's really what makes Amigos, and then what you do in ERA as well with us now as well, top notch. And I think you're an absolute asset to the sim racing world, even though we're only a small drop in the ocean of it. I honestly think that you are, and that's probably the nicest thing I'll ever say to you. So you can,
it's the only time you ever say it.
I have to say, I never fucking said that. But honestly, no, you're honestly a genuine person and a gent, and a pleasure to be working alongside you, doing the comms for your league, as well as obviously working as the admins in ERA. And guys, I want to thank everyone for getting in all their questions as well. So honestly, very good questions. Not as childish as I was expecting. I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting some silly shit being put in there, but luckily enough, genuine good questions.
We'll leave that to next week, mate. Well, your next one you do. You know,
Well, we're going to do one next week, and I haven't really picked who that is, but I'm going to approach them later on tonight. So we will be back next week for 8 o'clock. But I know my next stream is actually with yourselves. I'll probably stream a race tomorrow and delete it after I get took over or something on my first corner. But
you're in M6, mate. Just delete it anyway.
No, I'm going to go with the Jag around.
Don't stream.
I haven't done a lap of it yet. I'm terrified.
Don't bother streaming, mate.
I'm definitely doing it anyway. But yeah, I think then the next race is with Amigos on Monday. What track are we in, mate?
Oh, you're asking me like I know.
You'd swear the person who runs the fucking league and knows.
Mate. Do you not know how many races I'm racing?
Fuck's sake.
Do you not know how many races I'm racing? I'll tell you now, mate. I'll tell you now.
Amigos.
Joe, what it were? Do you know what it was, mate? It was I was actually setting up the league for the new season yesterday.
Ah, fair.
So I was actually messing around with all that. So that was that took me fair enough. I'll tell you now. Where are we next week? It's the last race of the season. It's at Suzuka. I think it might be Suzuka, is it?
Oh, it is Suzuka, I think.
Yeah, it's. I think I'm looking now. I think it's Suzuka, if I remember rightly. Last race of the season.
I think it is. We'll go with Suzuka. Barcelona. We're after being told Barcelona.
Oh, sorry, Barcelona. Oh, hello, Barcelona. Look, what's the race next week in terms of conditions?
Oh, got snow and no new snow plows.
No, I think I've been kind. Have I been kind? There you go.
Barcelona's
Okay, five times multiplier.
Wow. Okay. Not bad.
No. Oh, it's going to be wet.
In Barcelona?
I think so. No, ridiculously hot, 30 degrees. Yeah, that's.
Smaller for tires.
Yeah, that's going to be a tyre killer, that one.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, that's going to be that's a tyre killer at the best of times. So, yeah, I think I've done that on purposely because Barcelona kills your tyres at the best of time. So what I've done is up the temperature.
Yeah.
To completely burn your tyres out. That's the challenge on Monday. And this goes back to the whole we don't do standard racing. That race was purposely, that track and the temperature were purposely picked to kill your tyres.
That's because you're crazy.
Insane.
There's no other way to say it.
You turn up on a Monday and you're thinking, what was I drinking tonight when I decided to do this? However, I set the parameters in place for the new season. I gave it over to John. I said, "This is the community. Here's my parameters. You tell me what you want to do. Here's the tracks I want to race. Yeah. Here's the parameters. You can pick whatever of the 8 different parameters to each track. So you can pick how you want it to go. So I ain't going to dictate it has to be a day or night or which one. But there make 8 options. They're the tracks. You tie them up. And then you do the individual details, i.e. how much rain, or if it's mixed, or if it's night, and then what time of night, and what's the multiplier, what's the temperature. You know, this is all down to you. There you go. So I think the 8 parameters were day ridiculously hot, night ridiculously cold, 2 mixed, confirmed like proper mixed weather races, 1 day wet, 1 day dry. 1 night wet, 1 night dry. I think that's 8. And I said, there you go. There you're 8. You pick which one of them you want to be on each track, and you go and work out the ins and outs of it. I'll let you pick this time. So I've not even picked the ins and outs of this particular season, and I can't wait to drive it.
It's going to be definitely interesting.
And you can't blame me. And you can't blame me. I've not picked it.
Well, you're all sadistic, so let's be honest. You're all a bit mad.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Mondays, we're all the same. So,
that's brilliant. Well, yeah, I suppose for myself then again, thank you so much again. I think we're going to end. I didn't realise we're actually 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Good chat, mate. Good chat.
It's after flying, yeah. Guys, I want to thank obviously Gary Smith, Charles Cooper. We had, going back up through all the comments, we had Christian in. We had Stacey Ellis in. We've had Doc Smith was in there for a bit as well. Yeah, it was. And Boy Adele. I actually never said hello to them. Boy Adele, whoever you are, hello. Sorry. I didn't notice that comment up the top there. But no, guys, thanks everyone for coming along, and a big thanks to obviously Amigos and ERA. They're kind of both the leagues that I commentate in. So thanks for the great communities that they both are, and for everything that's happening with the drivers as well, for being the most welcome community for new drivers, for myself doing comms, and I'm sure for everyone else in between doing other bits, whether it's in the endurance racing. And a big thanks to Sim Racing GP, who I think hold probably the best servers for setting up all the races as well. And they do a great service, and thanks to Grid Finder as well for a great place for all the crazy bastards in the sim racing world to find a place to race as well. And Amigos, you're on there as well, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're there somewhere.
So if you can't find us anywhere else, go to Grid Finder, and you'll find Amigos and ERA. And then for myself, I suppose we'll see you Monday, and then our next podcast will be on Wednesday. I'll do the announcement for that over TikTok and in the Discord, hopefully tomorrow. So I'll let you say the last words. So, Chris.
No, thanks for everyone for watching. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you on track. Yeah, no, appreciate it. Thanks Horsebox for fighting us on. It's been delightful.
No, but it's been a genuine pleasure speaking to you, and yeah, let's look forward to what 2023 brings for Amigos, ERA, and for everyone involved.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a good year to look forward to it.
100%. Well, yeah, look, thanks so much. We'll end that on a good note like that, guys. So have a fantastic evening, everyone.
Good night, everyone.